What's up, TikTok? Moon's just coming over the horizon, so there's some branches in the way. Can't really see them, but they kind of make the image a little bit worse. So it'll be up over the trees soon. What's up, Jess Palmer? Good to see you. Let's see, I'm gonna grab my remote here, sorry. Let's see if I can show you the tree branches. Oops, sorry. Trying to find the focus. It's dark out here. Where did that thing go? Wow. I can't find it. Oh, I was kind of on the wrong side. Let's just see if I go out of focus, if these trees branches come into focus or not. Maybe not. Let's try the other way real quick. Oops. I don't think I'll be able to get the branches to show up. Oh, there they are. Yeah, all right. That's what I was trying to do. I wanted to show you how many trees we're still looking through. Still looking through the trees. And we still get a decent image of the moon even after looking through all those branches. Let me get it back up in place. Let me zoom out. Uh-oh, it won't let me zoom out. TikTok does that to me all the time. It won't let me zoom out or in or anything, I guess. So there's the moon. There's the branches. So then let me change the focus again. Oh, that's kind of cool right there. That was cool. Look at that, I can focus on different ones. I think that's all the further it goes. Okay, let's go back to there. That's wild, huh? I kind of like that. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. That is cool. Are those leaves budding? Are those trees budding? Oh, that's wild. I like that. Okay, I know it's kind of boring when I do that. Whoops, wrong way. Wrong way. Working on it. I'm all sideways here, so. Actually, I might as well get it back into focus before I figure out where we want it. So look at this, we can make the branches almost disappear pretty much. Oh, I just seen something. Something like flashing, or I don't know, maybe that was a reflection off of a branch or something, I don't know. Don't know, maybe you guys saw it, maybe you didn't. All right, let's focus this a little bit. Oops. When I focus it, it moves the telescope. It shouldn't, but it does. Oop. Pretty much a full moon tonight, huh? I'm just playing with the thing still. Yesterday it was 100% full, so it's a little less today, I'm guessing. Ooh, look at that. Let me get that focused a little better. Can I? I think that's better, a little bit. Look how it's like red on the edge. It's weird. On that side, it's red. And look at the other side, it's blue. Here, let me move it a little faster. Look at the other side, it's blue. Does anybody know why that is? Put it in the chat if you do. Whoops, that's not what I was trying to do. See how it's blue right there? Now watch. We're going slow again, sorry. Blue on the left side. Actually, let me zoom out and see if it looks like that while it's... Yeah, look at that. See that? I've never noticed that before. It's blue on the left and red or orange on the right. Green on top. Tell me what I need to know. Tell me I need to know. I want to know too. Is it green on top? Let's zoom in on the top. Oops. Look at that. It kind of goes right in. Kind of weird. Okay, let me do this again. Does anybody know why that is? Whoa. Sorry, I'm not trying to do it so fast, but it's kind of bluish green on the bottom, I guess. Look at that. What's that all about? Because it's obviously not my... I thought maybe it'd be like a lens artifact or something, but it's obviously not. Because... Oops. I know it's grainy. Give me a moment. Real grainy. Look at that. It's red, orange, yellow. I'll see if I can focus it any better, but I doubt it. We're just really zoomed in. It's a photography and it is a lens artifact. Why is it one way, or why does the color stay on the same side? That's my question. I don't know about whoops, I'm trying to find the focus. Sorry, guys. Okay, let's see if we can get it focused in a little better. Yeah, I can't get it to go away. Oops, sorry guys, this is awful. We're still going through major trees. I'll show you. Look at all the trees we're looking through. Look at that. There's that one, and then there's that one. Oh, that's out of focus. I'm trying to focus in on the branches. And there's even more, I think. Oh, no, that's all we get. Okay, don't worry. We're going back. I just think that's cool to look at. At least my camera's letting me zoom now. Is this Earth? We live on Earth. Okay, we're getting the moon back. Give me a minute. So this is, we still got to go through a bunch of these tree branches. Oh, that's kind of cool right there. I like that. I'm going to leave it like that for a minute, but I'll get the moon back in centered. Whoa. That's not what I was trying to do. I think it's cool when you can kind of see the branch like that. Isn't that neat? I think that's a cool shot. Look at that. If it was summer, there'd be bugs flying around and stuff. That'd be cool. Look at that. You can really see a lot. Wow. That's crazy. I'm just seeing how far I can go. And those aren't stars. Those are like, must be frost on the branches, and it must be like reflecting the light of the moon. That is cool. Yeah, what is that right there? Let me see if I can focus a little better. Oop, other way. Yeah, what are we looking at there? That's cool. Okay, we'll go back to normal. Do a star? Okay, we'll look at a star. Good idea. Let me get the moon focused so that the star is somewhat focused. Okay, that's pretty close. All right. Oh, man. I got to let my eyes adjust so I can see. I see one bright star. Not sure what it is. Whoa. Okay. I got to stand up here. All right. So here we go. Let me make sure I got my... All right, cool. Here we go. Here we go. Should be right there. Ooh, I think that's Sirius. I think that's what that is just by looking at the color of it. We'll zoom way in on it. Or maybe it's Arcturus. I don't even know. We'll focus on it and we'll zoom in on it once I get it centered. Whoa, we're moving fast. That's probably pretty good. Oh, that's cool. Okay, I'm gonna try to focus it. Uh-oh, I gotta find the focus thing though. Okay, there we go. Okay, that's not the right way. They're cooler when they're out of focus, honestly. Uh-oh, what did I do? I lost it, guys. Oh, there's another one over there. That's cool. I'm zooming all the way out. All the cool stars are on the other side of the house. You guys want to see the North Star? Let's look at the North Star. How about? This one's harder to get with my, let me see. Oops, sorry. Okay, I had to turn my light on. Ooh, just barely be able to see it. Okay, here we go. Ooh, it's gonna be hard to get it. Let me make sure this camera's not gonna fall. Okay. It's so hard to get it back on here. Where are we? Okay. Should be, oops, somewhere right there. That's Polaris. You guys know a story about Polaris? Let me go around the other side here. And we'll get it in the middle. Okay. Oh, all right. Polaris. How do we do this now? Not sure which way we're going yet. Hello? Is my camera hitting? No, it's not hitting. Okay, give me a minute, guys. See, I'm turning my scope, like fast, and when I turn it, it doesn't really move very much. Oh, that's cool. I'm totally turning my telescope right around, because this is the center point, guys. Okay. Whoa, what did I do? Did I lose it? Oh no, there it is. Oh, that is wild. Oh, I did it again. It's not what I was trying to do. Oh. Okay, now we're gonna have it right in the center of the screen. I'm gonna zoom in. Well, pretty close to the center. Oh, it's right behind. Okay. I think that's about the best I'm gonna be able to get it for right now. You guys, you gotta look at the color at this star. So what I'll do is I'll take it out of focus, you know? I mean, we're really zoomed in right now, but I will show you. I'm still trying to get it more towards the center. It's not very easy. That's probably good enough. Oh man, my fingers are freezing. Okay, you gotta check out the colors. If I can't even reach my focus now. Oh man, it's at the very bottom. I'm gonna have to stick my hand in there. Hopefully it works. Okay, I'm taking it out of focus because I want to show you the colors, okay? That's the North Star, and it's not showing the colors very good, honestly. Let's see if I can get them out of focus a little bit more. Yeah, it doesn't help. Okay, it's red, white, and green. Like when I look at it with my better camera, this is just my iPhone. But it's green on the outside, and it's like red and white on the inside. See that? I'll just leave it like that. Sorry it's wobbling around so much. That's probably the best focus I can get on it. In Revelation, John said, man, how can I get that better? Sorry, guys. Oh, no. What'd I do? Oh, wow, we are really zoomed in. Sorry. In Revelation 4, John sees a door in heaven open, and then a voice said, come up hither. And suddenly he was in heaven, and he said there was a throne, and the one that sat on the throne, something like jasper and a sardine stone and a rainbow roundabout like an emerald. I think this is where God's throne is. I really do. Zoom in a little bit. It's a horrible image, but doesn't really do justice. So that's what it looks like when I zoom all the way out. Oh, my fingers are freezing. Okay, now we're gonna look at back to the moon, I guess, for now. Let's see. I gotta find my way back there. All right. Taking me a second, sorry. I hear a helicopter. Ooh, I gotta warm my fingers up. What kind of scope is this? It's a Meade ETX 125. Oh, wrong way, Joe. And we're still looking through the trees or branches, so it's still going to be a little bit kind of fuzzy. Whoa. Okay. I will be back. Lee Scott. I think it's awesome. I've never seen it before. Yeah, if you go to my YouTube channel, which is the same as my TikTok name, it's Effed Up World. If you go there and if you type it, like if you search my channel for the name John, you'll see something, you'll see a bunch of videos about the North Star. Or you could just type in Polaris or the North Star. I have tons of footage of it on my channel. And you'll find that that's revelation. It's crazy. I think it's where God's throne is, but a lot of people think that's crazy. I don't care. I don't much care. Oh, I see a Starlink satellite, you guys. That's the second one I've seen tonight. Thanks, Lee. Scott, 84. Yeah, make sure you guys follow. So yeah, that's my question for the day. Why is the left side of the moon looking blue and the right side looking red? Maybe it's something simple, like an artifact from using a lens. I don't know. That's what it kind of would seem like, but it's on the same side. And I guess I haven't tried turning the telescope upside down or anything, but okay, I'm gonna zoom in a little bit. And then I'm going to go in for a few minutes and warm my fingers up and then get some food. I'll just leave this tracking here for fun. Never know, you might catch a Saddaloon in the way. Yeah, it's still in the trees, but it'll be coming out soon. Let's see if I can find my way in. Still on there? All right. So I brought another phone, and I was gonna play a video or something. Oh, I gotta plug it in. Let's see. It'll shake a little bit, sorry. There you go. You are very perceptive. Full moon tonight. I think it's pretty close. Show another side of the moon. Okay. Actually, you know what? Let me see if I can get something playing. So I have a friend named Thomas. And we've been doing a live stream on my channel on YouTube, which is Effed Up World. It's the same as my TikTok. And I was maybe just gonna play some of what we talked about on Sunday. If I can find it. Oh, I gotta hit live. Okay. Flying machines causing destruction. Let's just see what happens. Actually, you know what? I might change my mind because I think I have a better idea. Let's see here. How about the Book of Enoch instead? Now, I don't know if TikTok will kick me off for doing that, but I doubt it. If they do, then we'll see it when I get off of my TikTok jail or whatever. Let's see. Oh, I wish I had Velcro on my phone so I could put it up by the other phone. Let's see, what can I do?
She could dwell, and her dwelling was in heaven.
We'll start at the beginning, you guys. I'll see if I can get the phone close, or somewhat close. I'll be back. I gotta grab something. Okay, I'll be right back. All right, I got a couple paint cans to put my phone on top of. Oops. Getting situated here. It'll be worth it, you guys. Okay. All right, this should work. Here we go.
These are the words of the blessing of Enoch, according to which he blessed the chosen and righteous who must be present on the day of distress, which is appointed for the removal of all the wicked and impious. And Enoch began his story and said, there was a righteous man whose eyes were opened by the Lord, and he...
Okay, can you guys hear that? I'm just pausing it real quick, making sure you can hear that.
Saw a holy vision in the heavens, which the angels showed to me. And I heard everything from them, and I understood what I saw, but not for this generation, but for a distant generation that will come. Concerning the chosen I spoke, and I uttered a parable concerning them. The holy and great one will come out of his dwelling, and the eternal God will tread from there upon Mount Sinai, and he will appear with his host, and will appear in the strength of his power from heaven. And all will be afraid, and the watchers will shake, and fear and great trembling will seize them up to the ends of the earth. And the high mountains will be shaken, and the high hills will be laid low and will melt like wax in a flame. And the earth will sink, and everything that is on earth will be destroyed, and there will be judgment upon all, and upon all the righteous. But for the righteous he will make peace, and he will keep safe the chosen, and mercy will be upon them. They will all belong to God, and will prosper and be blessed, and the light of God will shine on them. And behold, he comes with 10,000 holy ones to execute judgment upon them, and to destroy the impious, and to contend with all flesh concerning everything that the sinners and the impious have done and wrought against him. Contemplate all the events in the sky, how the lights in the sky do not change their courses, how each rises and sets in order, each at its proper time, and they do not transgress their law. Consider the earth and understand from the work that is done upon it, from the beginning to the end, that no work of God changes as it becomes manifest. Consider the summer and the winter, how the whole earth is full of water, and the clouds and dew and rain rest upon it. Contemplate and see how all the trees appear withered, and all their leaves are stripped, with the exception of the 14 trees, which are not stripped, which remain with the old leaves until the new come after 2 or 3 years. And again, contemplate the days of summer, how at its beginning the sun is above it. You seek shelter and shade because of the heat of the sun, and the earth burns with scorching heat, and you cannot tread upon the earth or upon a rock because of its heat.
Yeah, I paused it.
Contemplate how the
Sorry. You guys see that tree branch going by? So the image we're looking at is upside down. Or, yeah, upside down. So the branches look like they're going up. If you're joining, make sure you're following. Follow, follow, follow. Okay. So now we're on to chapter 5, I think.
trees are covered with green leaves and bear fruit, and understand in respect of everything, and perceive how he who lives forever made all these things for you, and how his works are before him in each succeeding year, and all his works serve him and do not change. But as God has decreed, so everything is done. And consider how the seas and rivers together complete their task. But you have not persevered in, nor observed the law of the Lord. But you have transgressed and have spoken proud and hard words with your unclean mouth against his majesty. You hard of heart, you will not have peace. And because of this you will curse your days, and the years of your life you will destroy. And the eternal curse will increase, and you will not receive mercy. In those days you will transform your name into an eternal curse to all the righteous, and they will curse you sinners forever. For the chosen there will be light, joy, and peace, and they will inherit
There's so
the
many
earth.
branches right
But for
now.
you, the
I'll show you.
impious, there will be a curse. When wisdom is given to the chosen, they...
Sorry, I thought I heard something. I gotta look. There's probably deer all over back here. One time I seen some deer in the backyard, and I took my light up back there, and there was like 25 deer like going to bed in my backyard. It was weird. All right, sorry about that. I was trying to show you how many branches we're looking for, and then I got sidetracked. Look at that. It's like we're looking through the woods almost. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Isn't that amazing that we can get that good of an image at even looking through those branches? What branches? Those ones. Yeah, we're looking through the tops of some trees. So you can see our orientation. The trees, they're like half upside down. I think that's cool. So now we're going down towards the ground, kind of. And then it gets really dark. I'm just going just for fun. We'll see what we got. Still not down to the ground because I'm still seeing branches. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I just keep going. Doo-doo-doo. Hey, watch this. That should put some light on. Let's see, where am I looking? No? I got a headlamp. I'm trying to shine my light at the tree branches. Can you see them at all? No? Oh, wait. I thought I saw my light. There we go. Look at that. So keep going. Oops, where was it? I'm losing it. I'm still going the same direction. Okay. All right, enough. I'm just playing. I always do that. Okay, we're gonna zip right back. Oh, let me turn my light on so you guys can see the branches if we go by them. I can't even tell. Oh, there we go. Just about back. Isn't that cool? I just think that's cool. Okay, we're gonna go back to our normal routine here. Change the focus. Ooh, that's bright. Too bright. Okay, we got to get it centered here a little bit. All right, focusing. How's that? Okay, we're going with that for a while. How far can you zoom in on the moon? Should we see? Okay, my goal is to like not be touching the telescope too much anymore, but I will zoom in this just for you. It gets really grainy, but this is just my iPhone, so what can you expect? I mean, it's an iPhone looking through my telescope. But that's zoomed all the way out. Oh, no, it's not centered. Whoops. Don't worry, we're going back to the Book of Enoch. But I gotta make sure that it's somewhat tracking before I go back in for a minute. Okay, here we go. This is still chapter 5, I think.
Will all live and will not again do wrong, either through forgetfulness or through pride. But those who possess wisdom will be humble. They will not again do wrong, and they will not be judged in all the days of their life, and they will not die of wrath or anger, but they will complete the number of days of their life, and their life will grow in peace, and the years of their joy will increase in gladness and eternal peace, all the days of their life. And it came to pass, when the sons of men had increased, that in those days there were born to them fair and beautiful daughters. And the angels, the sons of heaven, saw them and desired them. And they said to one another, Come, let us choose for ourselves wives from the children of men, and let us beget for ourselves children. And Shemyaza, who was their leader, said to them, I fear that you may not wish this deed to be done, and that I alone will pay for this great sin. And they all answered him and said, Let us all swear an oath, and bind one another with curses, so not to alter this plan, but to carry out this plan effectively. Then they all swore together, and all bound one another with curses to it. And they were in all 200, and they came down on Artis, which is the summit of Mount Hermon. And they called the mountain Hermon, because on it they swore and bound one another with curses. And these are the names of their leaders: Shimyaza, who was their leader, Urakiba, Ramiel, Kokabiel, Tamiel, Ramiel, Daniel, Ezekiel, Barakiel, Asael, Armaros, Badariel, Ananel, Zachiel, Samsiel, Sadariel, Turiel, Yomiel, and Sariel. These are the leaders of the 200 angels, and all the others with them. And they took wives for themselves, and everyone chose for himself one each. And they began to go into them, and were promiscuous with them. And they taught them charms and spells, and they showed them the cutting of roots and trees. And they became pregnant and bore large giants, and their height was
It just keeps
3,000
wandering.
cubits. These devoured all the toil of men, until men were unable to sustain them. And the giants turned against them in order to devour men. And they began to sin against birds, and against animals, and against reptiles, and against fish, and they devoured one another's flesh, and drank the blood from it. Then the earth complained about the lawless ones. And Azazel taught men to make swords, and daggers, and shields, and breastplates. And he showed them the things after these, and the art of making them, bracelets and ornaments, and the art of making up the eyes, and of beautifying the eyelids, and the most precious stones, and all kinds of colored dyes. And the world was changed. And there was great impiety and much fornication, and they went astray, and all their ways became corrupt. Amazarak taught all those who cast spells and cut roots, Armaros the release of spells, and Barakiel astrologers, and Kokabiel portents, and Tamiel taught astrology, and Asaradel taught the path of the moon.
End of Time 66 says, host, what YouTube channel is this recording from? It's on Ancient Astronaut Archive channel. I like the that's probably my favorite version, or like
And
audio
at the
version.
destruction of men they cried out, and their voices reached heaven.
The mystery series.
There's gonna be
feature
ads,
writings
so
from
I'll
God's
try to
holy
skip through
word.
them.
I'm so excited because
And then Michael, Gabriel, Zuriel, and Uriel looked down from heaven and saw the mass of blood that was being shed on the earth, and all the iniquity that was being done on the earth. And they said to one another, Let the devastated earth cry out with the sound of their cries up to the gate of heaven. And now to you, O holy ones of heaven, the souls of men complain, saying, Bring our complaint before the Most High. And they said to their Lord, the King, Lord of lords, God of gods, King of kings, your glorious throne endures for all the generations of the world, and blessed and praised. You have made everything, and power over everything is yours, and everything is uncovered and open in front of you, and you see everything, and there is nothing that can be hidden from you. See then that what Azazel has done, how he has taught all iniquity on the earth, and revealed the eternal secrets that are made in heaven. And Simyaza made known spells, he to whom you gave authority to rule over those who are with him. And they went into the daughters of men together, lay with those women, became unclean, and revealed to them these sins. And the women bore giants, and thereby the whole earth has been filled with blood and iniquity. And now behold, the souls which have died cry out and complain unto the gate of heaven. And their lament has ascended, and they cannot go out into the face of the iniquity which is being committed on the earth. And you know everything before it happens, and you know this, and what concerns each of them, but you say nothing to us. What ought we to do with them about this? And then the Most High, the Great and Holy One, spoke and sent Archelaus the son of Lamech, and said to him, Say to him in my name, Hide yourself, and reveal to him the end which is coming, because the whole earth will be destroyed. A deluge is about to come on all the earth, and all that is in it will be destroyed. And now teach him so that he may escape, and his offspring may survive for the whole earth. And further the Lord said to Raphael, Bind Azazel by his hands and his feet, and throw him into the darkness, and split open the desert which is in Judaeo, and throw him in there. And throw on him jagged and sharp stones, and cover him with darkness, and let him stay there forever, and cover his face so that he may not see the light, and so that on the great day of judgment he may be hurled into the fire. And restore the earth which the angels have ruined, and announce the restoration of the earth. For I shall restore the earth, so that not all the sons of men shall be destroyed because of the knowledge which the watchers made known and taught to their sons. And the whole earth has been ruined by the teaching of the works of Azazel, and against him write all sin. And the Lord said to Gabriel, Proceed against the bastards and the reprobates, and against the sons of the fornicators, and destroy the sons of the fornicators and the sons of the watchers from amongst men, and send them out. Send them against one another, and let them destroy themselves in battle, for they will not have length of days. And they will petition you, but the petitioners will gain nothing in respect of them, for they hope for eternal life, and that each of them will live life for 500 years. And the Lord said to Michael, Go, inform Semyaza and the others with him, who have associated with the women to corrupt themselves with them in all their uncleanness. When all their sons kill each other, and when they see the destruction of their loved ones, bind them for 70 generations under the hills of the earth, until the day of their judgment and of their consummation, until the judgment, which is for all eternity, is accomplished. And in those days they will lead them to the abyss of fire, in torment, and in prison they will be shut up for all eternity. And then Semyaza will be burnt, and from then on destroyed with them. Together they will be bound until the end of all generations, and destroy all the souls of lust and the sons of the watchers, for they have wronged men. Destroy all wrong from the face of the earth, and every evil work will cease. And now all the righteous will be humble, and will live until they beget thousands. And all the days of their youth and their Sabbaths they will fulfill in peace. And in those days the whole earth will be tilled in righteousness, and all of it will be planted with trees, and it will be filled with blessing. And all the pleasant trees they will plant on it, and they will plant on it vines. And the vine that is planted on it will produce fruit in abundance. And every seed that is sown on it, each measure will produce 1,000, and each measure of olives will produce 10 baths of oil. And you cleanse the earth from all wrong, and from all iniquity, and from all sin, and from all impiety, and from all the uncleanness which is brought about on the earth. And all the sons of men shall be righteous, and all the nations shall serve and bless me, and all shall worship me. And the earth will be cleansed from all corruption, and from all sin, and from all wrath, and from all torment. And I will not again send a flood upon it for all generations forever. And in those days I will open the storehouses of blessing which are in heaven, so that I may send them down upon the earth, upon the work and upon the toil of the sons of men. Peace and truth will be united for all the days of eternity, and for all the generations of eternity. And then Enoch disappeared, and none of the sons of men knew where he was hidden, where he was, or what had happened. And all his doings were with the holy ones, and with the watchers in his days. And I, Enoch, was blessing the great Lord and the King of eternity, And behold, the watchers called to me, Enoch the scribe, and said to me, Enoch, scribe of righteousness, go and inform the watchers of heaven, who have left the high heaven and the holy eternal place, and have corrupted themselves with women, and have done as the sons of men do, and have taken wives for themselves, and have become completely corrupt on the earth. They will have on earth neither peace nor forgiveness of sin, for they will not rejoice in their sons. The slaughter of their beloved ones they will see, and over the destruction of their sons they will lament and petition forever. But they will have neither mercy nor peace. And Enoch went and said to Azazel, you will not have peace. A severe sentence has come out against you that you should be bound, and you will have neither rest nor mercy, nor the granting of any petitions, because of the wrong which you have taught, and because of all the works of blasphemy and wrong and sin which you have shown to the sons of men. And then I went and spoke to them all together, and they were all afraid. Fear and trembling seized them. And they asked me to write out for them the record of a petition, so that they might receive forgiveness, and to take a record of their petition up to the Lord in heaven. For they were not able from then on to speak, and they did not raise their eyes to heaven out of shame for their sins, for which they had been condemned. And then I wrote out the record of their petition, and their supplication in regard to their spirits and the deeds of each one of them, and in regard to what they ask, that they should obtain absolution and forbearance. And I went and sat down by the waters of Dan, in Dan, which is southwest of Hermon, and I read out the record of their petition until I fell asleep. And behold, a dream came to me, and visions fell upon me, and I saw a vision of wrath, that I should speak to the sons of heaven and reprove them. And I woke up and went to them, and they were all sitting gathered together as they mourned, in Ubazael, which is between Lebanon and Sinir, with their faces covered.
Make sure you
and
follow.
I spoke in front of them all the visions that I had seen in my sleep, and I began to speak these words to reprove the watchers of heaven. This book is the word of righteousness and of reproof for the watchers who are from eternity, as the Holy and Great One commanded in that vision. I saw in my sleep what I will now tell, with the tongue of flesh and with my breath, which the Great One has given men in the mouth, so that they might speak with it and understand with the heart.
Whoops.
As he has created and appointed men to understand the word of knowledge, so he created and appointed me to reprove the watchers, the sons of heaven. And I wrote out your petition, but in my vision thus it appeared, that your petition would not be granted to you for all the days of eternity. And complete judgment has been decreed against you, and you will not have peace. And from now on, you will not ascend into heaven for all eternity. And it has been decreed that you will be bound on earth for all the days of eternity. And before this, you will have seen the destruction of your beloved sons, and you will not be able to enjoy them, but they will fall before you by the sword.
Make sure you follow my channel or whatever.
Of them, or in respect of yourselves. And while you weep and supplicate, you do not speak a single word from the writings which I have written. And the vision appeared to me as follows. Behold, clouds called me in the vision, and mists called me. And the path of the stars and flashes of lightning hastened me and drove me. And in the vision winds caused me to fly, and hastened me, and lifted me up into the sky. And I proceeded until I came near a wall which was made of hailstones, and a tongue of fire surrounded it. And it began to make me afraid. And I went into the tongue of fire and came near to a large house, which was built of hailstones, and the wall of that house was like a mosaic of hailstones, and its floor was snow. Its roof was like the path of the stars and flashes of lightning, and among them was fiery cherubim, and their sky was like water. And there was a fire burning around its wall, and its door was ablaze with fire. And I went into that house, and it was as hot as fire and as cold as snow, and there was neither pleasure nor life in it. Fear covered me, and trembling took hold of me. And as I was shaking and trembling, I fell on my face. And I saw in the vision, and behold, another house which was larger than the former, and all its doors were open before me, and it was built of a tongue of fire. And in everything it so excelled in glory and splendor and size, so that I am unable to describe to you its glory and its size. And its floor was fire, and above lightning and the path of the stars, and its roof also was a burning fire. And I looked, and I saw in it a high throne, and its appearance was like ice, and its surrounds like the shining sun and the sound of cherubim. And from underneath the high throne there flowed out rivers of fire, so that it was impossible to look at it. And he who is great in glory sat upon it, and his raiment was brighter than the sun, and whiter than any snow. And no angel could enter. And at the appearance of the face of him who is honored and praised, no creature of flesh could look. A sea of fire burnt around him, and a great fire stood in front of him, and none of those around him came near to him. 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him, but he needed no holy counsel. And the holy ones who were near to him did not leave by night or day, and did not depart from him. And until then I had a covering on my face, as I trembled. And the Lord called me with his own mouth, and said to me, Come here, Enoch, to my holy word. And he lifted me up, and brought me near to the door, and I looked, with my face down. And he answered me, and he said to me with his voice, Hear, do not be afraid, Enoch, you righteous man, and scribe of righteousness, come here, and hear my voice. And go say to the watchers of heaven, who sent you to petition on their behalf, you ought to petition on behalf of men, not men on behalf of you. Why have you left the high, holy, and eternal heaven, and lain with women, and become unclean with the daughters of men, and taken wives for yourselves, and done as the sons of the earth, and begotten giant sons? And you were spiritual, holy, living an eternal life, but you became unclean upon the women, and begot children through the blood of flesh, and lusted after the blood of men, and produced flesh and blood, as they do, who die and are destroyed. And for this reason I give men wives, so that they might sow seed in them, and so that children might be born by them, so that deeds might be done on the earth. But you, formerly, were spiritual, living an eternal, immortal life for all the generations of the world. For this reason I do not arrange wives for you, because the dwelling of the spiritual ones is in heaven. And now the giants who were born from body and flesh will be called evil spirits on the earth, and on the earth will be their dwelling. And evil spirits came out from their flesh, because from above they were created. From the holy watchers was their origin and first foundation. Evil spirits they will be on earth, and spirits of the evil ones they will be called. And the dwelling of the spirits of heaven is heaven, but the dwelling of the spirits of the earth who were born on the earth is earth. And the spirits of the giants do wrong, are corrupt, attack, fight, break on the earth, and cause sorrow. And they eat no food, do not thirst, and are not observed. And these spirits will rise against the sons of men, and against the women, because they came out of them during the days of slaughter and destruction. In the death of the giants, wherever the spirits have gone out from their bodies, their flesh will be destroyed before the judgment. Thus they will be destroyed until the day of the great consummation is accomplished, upon the great age, upon the watchers and the impious ones. And now to the watchers, who sent you to petition on their behalf, who were formerly in heaven. You were in heaven, but its secrets had not yet been revealed to you, and a worthless mystery you knew. This you made known to women in the hardness of your hearts, and through this mystery the women and the men cause evil to increase on the earth. Say to them, therefore, you will not have peace. And they took me to a place where they were like burning fire, and when they wished, they made themselves look like men. And they led me to a place of storm, and to a mountain, the tip of whose summit reached to heaven. And I saw lighted places, and thunder in the outermost ends. In its depths a bow of fire, and arrows and their quivers, and a sword of fire, and all the flashes of lightning. And they took me to the water of life, as it is called, and to the fire of the west, which receives every setting of the sun. And I came to a river of fire, whose fire flows like water, and pours out into the great sea, which is towards the west. And I saw all the great rivers, and I reached the great darkness, and went where all flesh walks. And I saw the mountains of the darkness of winter, and the place where the water of all the deeps pours out. And I saw the mouths of all the rivers of the earth, and the mouth of the deep. And I saw the storehouses of all the winds, and I saw how with them he has adorned all creation. And I saw the foundations of the earth. And I saw the cornerstone of the earth. And I saw the four winds which support the earth and the sky. And I saw how the winds stretched out the height of heaven, and how they positioned themselves between heaven and earth. They are the pillars of heaven. And I saw the winds which turned the sky and caused the disk of the sun and all the stars to set. And I saw the winds on the earth which support the clouds, and I saw the paths of the angels. I saw at the end of the earth the firmament of heaven above. And I went towards the south, and it was burning day and night, where there were 7 mountains of precious stones, 3 towards the east and 3 towards the south. And those towards the east were of colored stone, and one was of pearl, and one was of healing stone, and those towards the south of red stone. And the middle one reached to heaven, like the throne of the Lord, of Stabium, and the top of the throne was of sapphire. And I saw a burning fire in what was in all the mountains, and I saw a place there beyond the great earth. There the waters gathered together. And I saw a deep chasm of the earth with pillars of heavenly fire, and I saw among them fiery pillars of heaven, which were falling, and as regards both height and depth they were immeasurable. And beyond this chasm I saw a place, and it had neither the sky above it, nor the foundation of earth below it. There was no water on it, and no birds, but it was a desert place. And a terrible thing I saw there, 7 stars like great burning mountains. And like a spirit questioning me, the angel said, "This is the place of the end of heaven and earth. This is the prison for the stars of heaven and the host of heaven. And the stars which roll over the fire, these are the ones which transgressed the command of the Lord from the beginning of their rising, because they did not come out at their proper times. And he was angry with them and bound them until the time of the consummation of their sin in the year of mystery." And Uriel said to me, "The spirits of the angels who were promiscuous with women will stand here, and they, assuming many forms, made men unclean, and will lead men astray so that they sacrifice to demons as gods. And they will stand there until the great judgment, on which they will be judged, so that an end will be made of them. And their wives, having led astray the angels of heaven, will become peaceful. And I, Enoch, alone saw the sight, the ends of everything, and no man has seen what I have seen. His offspring perish. And these are the names of the holy angels who kept watch. Uriel, one of the holy angels, namely the holy angel of the spirits of men. Raguel, one of the holy angels, who takes vengeance on the world and on the lights. Michael, one of the holy angels, namely the one put in charge of the best part of humankind, in charge of the nation. Sarakel, one of the holy angels, who is in charge of the spirits of men who cause the spirits to sin. Gabriel, one of the holy angels, who is in charge of the serpents and the garden and the cherubim. And I went round to a place where nothing was made, and I saw a terrible thing, neither the high heaven nor the firm ground, but a desert place, prepared and terrible. And there I saw 7 stars of heaven bound on it together, like great mountains, and burning like fire. Then I said, "For what sin have they been bound, and why have they been thrown here?" And Uriel, one of the holy angels, who was with me and led me, spoke to me and said, "Enoch, about whom do you ask? About whom do you inquire, ask, and care? These are some of the stars which transgress the command of the Lord Most High, and they have been bound here until 10,000 ages are completed, the number of days of their sin." And from there I went to another place, more terrible than this. And I saw a terrible thing, There was a great fire there, which burnt and blazed, and the place had no cleft reaching into the abyss, full of great pillars of fire, which were made to fall. Neither its extent nor its size could I see, nor could I see its source. Then I said, "How terrible this place is, and how painful to look at." Then Uriel, one of the holy angels, who was with me, answered me. He answered me and said to me, "Enoch, why do you have such fear and terror because of this terrible place and before this pain?" And he said to me, "This place is the prison of the angels, and there they will be held forever."
That's space, you guys. And those 7 stars are the planets. They're angels. They're evil angels. Welcome to reality. Hold on a minute. It's very, very slowly wandering off to the left. Oops, that's not the right way. That's not the right way. Make sure you follow if you're joining. It's my policy. I'm just kidding.
And from there I went to another place, and he showed me in the west a large and high mountain, and a hard rock, and 4 beautiful places. And inside it was deep, wide, and very smooth. How smooth is that which rolls, and deep and dark to look at. Then Raphael, one of the holy angels who was with me, answered me and said to me, "These beautiful places are there so that the spirits, the souls of the dead, might be gathered into them. For them they were created, so that here they might gather the souls of the sons of men. And these places they made, where they will keep them until the day of judgment, and until their appointed time, and that appointed time will be long, until the great judgment comes upon them. And I saw the spirits of the sons of men who were dead, and their voices reached heaven and complained. Then I asked Raphael, the angel who was with me, and said to him, 'Who is this spirit, whose voice thus reaches heaven and complains?' And he answered me and said to me, saying, 'This spirit is the one that came out of Abel, whom Cain, his brother, killed. And he will complain about him until his offspring are destroyed from the face of the earth, and from amongst the offspring of men, his offspring perish.' Then I asked about him, and about judgment on all. And I said, 'Why is one separated from another?' And he answered me and said to me, 'These 3 places were made in order that they might separate the spirits of the dead, and thus the souls of the righteous have been separated. This is the spring of water, and on it the light. Likewise, a place has been created for sinners when they die, and are buried in the earth, and judgment has not come upon them during their life. And here their souls will be separated for this great torment, until the great day of judgment and punishment and torment for those who curse forever, and of vengeance on their souls. And there he will bind them forever. Verily he is from the beginning of the world. And thus a place has been separated for the souls of those who complain and give information about their destruction, about when they were killed in the days of the sinners. Thus a place has been created for the souls of men who are not righteous, but sinners, accomplished in wrongdoing, and with the wrongdoers will be their lot. But their souls will not be killed on the day of judgment, nor will they rise from here.' Then I blessed the Lord of glory and said, 'Blessed be my Lord, the Lord of glory and righteousness, who rules everything forever.' And from there I went to another place, towards the west, to the ends of the earth. And I saw a fire that burnt and ran without resting or ceasing from running, by day or by night, but continued in exactly the same way. And I asked, saying, 'What is this which has no rest?' Then Raguel, one of the holy angels who was with me, answered me and said to me, 'The burning fire, whose course you saw towards the west, is the fire of all the lights of heaven.' And from there I went to another place of the earth, and he showed me a mountain of fire that blazed day and night. And I went towards it and saw 7 magnificent mountains, and all were different from one another, and precious and beautiful stones, and all were precious, and their appearance glorious, and their form was beautiful. 3 towards the east, one fixed firmly on another, and 3 towards the south, one on another, and deep and rugged valleys, no one of which was near another.
We are a family of 7. We've got 5 kids. The secret to having 5 children is patience. Being a family of 7, you can't go without benefits. I was eligible for benefits starting day 1. We were very fortunate. It was so easy and it wasn't a long, drawn-out process. We have definitely utilized the dental benefits the most. It was a huge lifesaver or teeth saver.
At Bremer Bank, we understand that for you, success means helping others live their dreams, and that relationships matter more than ever.
And there was a 7th mountain in the middle of these, and in their height they were all like the seat of a throne, and fragrant trees surrounded it. And there was among them a tree such as which I have never smelt, and none of them or any others were like it. It smells more fragrant than any fragrance, and it leaves and it flowers, and its wood never wither. Its fruit is good, and its fruit is like bunches of dates on a palm. And then I said, Behold, this beautiful tree, beautiful to look at, and pleasant are its leaves, and its fruit very delightful in appearance. And then Michael, one of the holy and honored angels who was with me, and was in charge of them, answered me and said to me, Enoch, why do you ask me about the fragrance of this tree, and why do you inquire to learn? Then I, Enoch, answered him, saying, I wish to learn about everything, but especially about this tree. And he answered me, saying, This high mountain which you saw, whose summit is like the throne of the Lord, is the throne where the Holy and Great One, the Lord of glory, the eternal King, will sit when he comes down to visit earth for good. And this beautiful and fragrant tree, and no creature of flesh has authority to touch it until the great judgment, when he will take vengeance on all and bring everything to a consummation forever. This will be given to the righteous and the humble. From its fruit, life will be given to the chosen. Towards the north it will be planted in a holy place by the house of the Lord, the eternal King. Then they will rejoice and joy and be glad in the holy place. They will each draw the fragrance of it into their bones, and they will live a long life on earth, as your fathers lived. And in their days sorrow and pain and toil and punishment will not touch them. Then I blessed the Lord of glory, the eternal King, because he has prepared such things for righteous men, and has created such things, and said that they are to be given to them. And from there I went to the middle of the earth, and saw a blessed, well-watered place, which had branches which remained alive, and sprouted from a tree which had been cut down. And there I saw a holy mountain, and under the mountain, to the east of it, there was water, and it flowed towards the south. And I saw towards the east another mountain, which was of the same height, and between them there was a deep and narrow valley, and in it a stream ran by the mountain. And to the west of this one was another mountain, which was lower than it was and not high, and under it there was a valley between them. And there were other deep and dry valleys at the end of the 3 mountains, and all the valleys were deep and narrow of hard rock, and trees were planted on them. And I was amazed at the rock, and I was amazed at the valley. I was very much amazed. Then I said, What is the purpose of this blessed land, which is completely full of trees, and of this accursed valley in the middle of them? Then Raphael, one of the holy angels who was with me, answered me, and said to me, The accursed valley is for those who are cursed forever, and will be gathered together all who speak with their mouths against the Lord, words that are not fitting, and say hard things about his glory. Here they will gather them together, and here will be their place of judgment. And in the last days there will be the spectacle of the righteous judgment upon them in front of the righteous forever. For here the merciful will bless the Lord of glory, the eternal King. And in the days of the judgment on them, they will bless him on account of his mercy, according as he has assigned to them their lot. Then I myself blessed the Lord of glory. I addressed him, and I remembered his majesty, as was fitting. And from there I went towards the east, to the middle of the mountain of the wilderness, and I saw only desert. But it was full of trees from the seed, and water gushed out over it from above. The torrent, which flowed towards the northeast, seemed copious, and from all sides there went up spray and mist. And I went to another place away from the wilderness. I came near to the east of this mountain, and there I saw trees of judgment, especially vessels of fragrance of incense and myrrh, and the trees were not alike. And above it, above these, above the mountains of the east, and not far away, I saw another place, valleys of water, like which does not fail. And I saw a beautiful tree, and its fragrance was like that of the mastic. And by the banks of these valleys I saw fragrant cinnamon, and beyond those valleys I came towards the east. And I saw another mountain on which there were trees, and there flowed out water, and there flowed out from it, as it were, a nectar whose name is styrax and galbanum. And beyond this mountain I saw another mountain, and on it there were aloe trees, and those trees were full of a fruit, which is like an almond, and is hard. And when they take this fruit, it is better than any fragrance. And after these fragrances to the north, as I looked over the mountains, I saw 7 mountains full of fine nard and fragrant trees of cinnamon and pepper. And from there I went over the summits of those mountains, far away to the east, and I went over to the Red Sea, and I was far from it, and I went over the angel Zotiel. And I came to the garden of righteousness, and I saw beyond those trees many large trees growing there, sweet-smelling, large, very beautiful and glorious, the trees of wisdom, from which they eat and know great wisdom. And it is like the carob tree, and its fruit is like bunches of grapes on a vine, very beautiful, and the smell of this tree spreads and penetrates afar. And I said, this tree is beautiful, how beautiful and pleasing its appearance. And the holy angel Raphael, who was with me, answered me and said to me, this is the tree of wisdom, from which your ancient father and ancient mother, who were before you, ate and learnt wisdom, and their eyes were opened, and they knew that they were naked, and they were driven from the garden. And from there I went to the ends of the earth, and I saw there large animals, each different from the other, and also birds, which differed in form, beauty, and call, each different from the other. And to the east of these animals I saw the ends of the earth, on which heaven rests, and the open gates of heaven. And I saw how the stars of heaven come out, and counted the gates out of which they come, and wrote down all their outlets, for each one individually according to their number, and their names according to their constellations, their positions, their times, and their months, as the angel Uriel, who was with me, showed me. And he showed me everything, and wrote it down, and also their names he wrote down for me, and their laws and their functions. And from there I went towards the north, to the ends of the earth, and there I saw a great and glorious wonder at the ends of the whole earth. And there I saw 3 gates of heaven. Through each of them north winds go out. When they blow there is cold, hail, hoarfrost, snow, fog, and rain. And from one gate it blows for good, but when they blow through the other 2 gates, it is with force, and it brings torment over the earth, and they blow with force. And from there I went towards the west, to the ends of the earth, and I saw there, as I saw in the east, 3 open gates, as many gates and as many outlets. And from there I went towards the south, to the ends of the earth, and there I saw 3 gates of heaven open, and the south wind, the mist, and the rain, and the wind came out from there. And from there I went towards the east of the ends of heaven, and there I saw the 3 eastern gates of heaven open, and above them there were smaller gates. Through each of these smaller gates the stars of heaven pass, and go towards the west, on the path that has been shown to them. And when I saw, I blessed, and I will always bless the Lord of glory, who has made great and glorious wonders, so that he might show the greatness of his work to his angels and to the souls of men, so that they might praise his work, and so that all his creatures might see the work of his power, and praise the great work of his hands, and bless him forever.
Section 2, I didn't get.
The second vision that he saw, the vision of wisdom, which Enoch, the son of Jared, the son of Malalel, the son of Canaan, the son of Enosh, the son of Seth, the son of Adam, saw. And this is the beginning of the words of wisdom, which I raised my voice to speak and say, to those who dwell on dry ground, hear, you men of old, and see those who come after the words of the Holy One, which I will speak in front of the Lord of spirits. It would have been better to have said these things before, but from those who come after we will not withhold the beginning of wisdom. Until now, there has not been given by the Lord of spirits such wisdom as I have received, in accordance with my insight, in accordance with the wish of the Lord of spirits, by whom the lot of eternal life has been given to me. And the 3 parables were imparted to me, and I raised my voice, and said to those who dwell on the dry ground. The first parable. When the community of the righteous appears, and the sinners are judged for their sins and are driven from the face of the dry ground. And when the righteous one appears in front of the chosen righteous, whose works are weighed by the Lord of spirits, and when light appears to the righteous and chosen who dwell on the dry ground, where will be the dwelling of the sinners? And where will be the resting place of those who denied the Lord of spirits? It would have been better for them if they had not been born. And when the secrets of the righteous are revealed, the sinners will be judged, and the impious driven from the presence of the righteous and the chosen. And from then on, those who possess the earth will not be mighty and exalted, nor will they be able to look at the face of the holy ones, for the light of the Lord of the spirits will have appeared on the face of the holy, the righteous, and the chosen. And the mighty kings will at that time be destroyed and given into the hand of the righteous and the holy. And from then on, no one will be able to seek the Lord of spirits, for their life will be at an end. And it come to pass in these days that the chosen and holy children will come down from the high heavens, and their offspring will become one with the sons of men. In those days, Enoch received books of indignation and anger, and books of tumult and confusion. And there will be no mercy for them, says the Lord of spirits. And at that time clouds and a storm wind carried me off from the face of the earth, and set me down at the end of heaven. And there I saw another vision, the dwelling of the righteous and the resting places of the holy. There my eyes saw their dwelling with the angels, and their resting places with the holy ones. And they were petitioning and supplicating and praying on behalf of the sons of men. And righteousness like water flowed in front of them, and mercy like dew on the ground. Thus it is among them forever and ever. And in those days my eyes saw the place of the chosen ones of righteousness and faith. And there will be righteousness in their days, and the righteous and chosen will be without number in front of him forever and ever. And I saw their dwelling under the wings of the Lord of spirits, and all the righteous and chosen shone in front of him, like the light of fire, and their mouths were full of blessing, and their lips praised the name of the Lord of spirits. And righteousness will not fail in front of him, the truth will not fail in front of him. There I wished to dwell, and my soul longed for that dwelling. There had my lot been assigned before, for thus it was decided about me in front of the Lord of spirits. And in those days I praised and exalted the name of the Lord of spirits with blessing and praise, for he has destined me for blessing and praise in accordance with the Lord of spirits. And for a long time my eyes looked at that place, and I blessed him and praised him, saying, Blessed is he, and may he be blessed from the beginning and forever. And in his presence there is no end. He knew before the world was created what the world would be, even for all the generations that are to come. Those who do not sleep bless you, and they stand before your glory and bless and praise and exalt, saying, Holy, 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 Lord of spirits. He fills the earth with spirits. And there my eye saw all those who do not sleep standing in front of him and blessing and saying, Blessed are you, and blessed is the name of the Lord forever and ever. And my face was transformed until I was unable to see. And after this I saw 1,000 thousands and 10,000 times 10,000, a multitude beyond number or reckoning, who stood in front of the glory of the Lord of spirits. I looked, and on the four sides of the Lord of spirits I saw four figures, different from those who were standing. And I learnt their names, because the angel who went with me made known their names, and showed me all the secrets. And I heard the voices of those four figures as they sang praises in front of the Lord of glory. The first voice blesses the Lord of spirits forever and ever. The second voice I heard blessing the chosen one, and the chosen who depend on the Lord of spirits. And the third voice I heard petitioned and prayed on behalf of those who dwell on dry ground, and supplicate in the name of the Lord of spirits. And the fourth voice I heard driving away the Satans, and not allowing them to come in front of the Lord of spirits to accuse those who dwell on the high ground. And after this I asked the angel of peace who went with me, and showed me everything which is secret. Who are those four figures whom I have seen, and whose words I have heard and written down? And he said to me, The first one is the holy Michael, the merciful and long-suffering. And the second, who is in charge of all the diseases and in charge of all the wounds of the sons of men, is Raphael. And the third, who is in charge of all the powers, is the holy Gabriel. And the fourth, who is in charge of repentance and hope of those who will inherit eternal life, is Phanuel. And these are the four angels of the Lord Most High, and the four voices that I heard in those days. And after this I saw all the secrets of heaven, and how the kingdom is divided, and how the deeds of men are weighed in the balance. There I saw the dwelling of the chosen in the resting places of the holy, and my eyes saw there were all the sinners who deny the name of the Lord of spirits being driven from there. And they dragged them off, and they were not able to remain because of the punishment that went out from the Lord of spirits. And there my eyes saw the secrets of the flashes of lightning and of the thunder, and the secrets of the winds, and how they are distributed in order to blow over the earth, and the secrets of the clouds, and of the dew. And there I saw from where they go out in that place, and how from there the dust of the earth is saturated. And there I saw closed storehouses from which the winds are distributed, and the storehouse of the hail, and the storehouse of the mist, and the storehouse of the clouds. And its cloud remained over the earth from the beginning of the world. And I saw the chambers of the sun and the moon, where they go out, and where they return, and their glorious return, and how one is more honored than the other is, and their magnificent course, and how they do not leave their course, neither adding nor subtracting from their course, and how they kept faith in one another, observing their oath. And the sun goes out first, and completes its journey at the command of the Lord of spirits, and his name endures forever and ever. And after this is the hidden and visible path of the moon, and it travels the course of its journey in that place by day and by night. One stands opposite the other in front of the Lord of spirits, and they give thanks and sing praise, and do not rest, because their thanksgiving is like rest to them. For the shining sun makes many revolutions, for a blessing and for a curse. And the path of the journey of the moon is for the righteous light, but for the sinners darkness. In the name of the Lord, who has created a division between light and darkness, and has divided the spirits of men, and has established the spirits of the righteous, in the name of his righteousness. For no angel hinders, and no power is able to hinder, because the judge sees them all, and judges them all himself. Wisdom found no place where she could dwell, and her dwelling was in heaven. Wisdom went out in order to dwell among the sons of men, but did not find a dwelling. Wisdom returned to her place, and took her seat in the midst of the angels. And iniquity came out from her chambers. Those whom she did not seek she found, and dwelt among them, like rain in the desert, and like dew on the parched ground. And again I saw flashes of lightning and the stars of heaven, and I saw how he called them all by their names, and they obeyed him. And I saw the balance of righteousness, how they are weighed according to their light, according to the width of their areas, and the day of their appearing, and how their revolutions produce lightning. And I saw their revolutions according to the number of the angels, and how they kept faith with one another. And I asked the angel who went with me and showed me what is secret, "What are these?" And he said to me, "Their likeness the Lord of spirits has shown to you. These are the names of the righteous who dwell on the dry ground and believe in the name of the Lord of spirits forever and ever." And other things I saw concerning lightning, how some of the stars rise and become lightning, but cannot lose their form. And this is the second parable, about those who deny the name of the dwelling of the holy ones and of the Lord of spirits. They will not ascend into heaven, nor will they come upon the earth. Such will be the lot of the sinners who deny the name of the Lord of spirits, who will thus be kept for the day of affliction and distress. On that day the chosen one will sit on the throne of glory and will choose their works. And their resting places will be without number, and their spirits within them will grow strong when they see my chosen one, and those who appeal to my holy and glorious name. And on that day I will cause my chosen one to dwell among them, and I will transform heaven and make it an eternal blessing and light. And I will transform the dry ground and make it a blessing, and I will cause my chosen ones to dwell upon it. But those who commit sin and evil will not tread upon it. For I have seen and have satisfied with peace my righteous ones, and have placed them in front of me. But for the sinners my judgment draws near, so that I may destroy them from the face of the earth. And there I saw one who had a head of days, and his head was white like wool. And with him there was another whose face had the appearance of a man, and his face was full of grace like one of the holy angels. And I asked one of the holy angels who went with me and showed me all the secrets about that Son of Man, who he was and from where he was, and why he went with the head of days. And he answered me and said to me, "This is the Son of Man who has righteousness, and with whom righteousness dwells. He will reveal all the treasures of that which is secret, for the Lord of spirits has chosen him. And through uprightness his lot has surpassed all others, in front of the Lord of spirits forever. And this Son of Man, who you have seen, will rouse the kings and the powerful from their resting places, and the strong from their thrones, and will loose the reins of the strong, and will break the teeth of the sinners. And he will cast down the kings from their thrones and from their kingdoms, for they do not exalt him, and do not praise him, and do not humbly acknowledge from where their kingdom was given to them. And he will cast down the faces of the strong, and shame will fill them, and darkness will be their dwelling, and worms will be their resting place. And they will have no hope of rising from their resting places, for they do not exalt the name of the Lord of spirits. And these are they who judge the stars of heaven, and raise their hands against the Most High, and trample upon the dry ground, and dwell upon it. And all their deeds show iniquity, and their power rests on their riches, and their faith is in their gods that they have made with their hands, and they deny the name of the Lord of spirits. And they will be driven from the houses of his congregation and of the faithful who depend on the name of the Lord of spirits. And in those days, the prayer of the righteous and the blood of the righteous will have ascended from the earth in front of the Lord of spirits. And in these days, the holy ones who live in heaven above will unite with one voice and supplicate and pray and praise and give thanks and bless in the name of the Lord of spirits, because of the blood of the righteous that has been poured out, and because of the prayer of the righteous, so that it may not cease in front of the Lord of spirits, so that justice might be done to them, and that their patience may not have to last forever. And in those days I saw the head of days sit down on the throne of his glory, and the books of the living were opened in front of him, and all his host, which dwell in the heavens above, and his council were standing in front of him. And the hearts of the holy ones were full of joy that the number of righteousness had been reached, and the prayer of the righteous had been heard, and the blood of the righteous had not been required in front of the Lord of spirits. And in that place I saw an inexhaustible spring of righteousness, and many springs of wisdom surrounded it. And all the thirsty drank from them and were filled with wisdom, and their dwelling was with the righteous and the holy and the chosen. And at that hour that Son of Man was named, in the presence of the Lord of spirits, and his name brought to the head of days. Even before the sun and the constellations were created, before the stars of heaven were even made, his name was named in front of the Lord of spirits. He will be a staff to the righteous and the holy, so that they may lean on him and not fall. And he will be the light of the nations, and he will be the hope of those who grieve in their hearts. And all those who dwell upon the dry ground will fall down and worship in front of him, and they will bless and praise and celebrate with psalms the name of the Lord of spirits. And because of this he was chosen and hidden in front of him before the world was created and forever. But the wisdom of the Lord of spirits has revealed him to the holy and the righteous, for he has kept safe the lot of the righteous. For they have hated and rejected this world of iniquity, and all its works and its ways they have hated in the name of the Lord of spirits. For in his name they are saved, and he is the one who will require their lives. And in those days the kings of the earth, and the strong who possess the dry ground, will have downcast faces because of the works of their hands, and for on the day of their distress and trouble they will not save themselves. And I will give them into the hands of my chosen ones, like straw in the fire and like lead in water. So they will burn in front of the righteous and sink in front of the holy, and no trace will be found of them. And on the day of their trouble there will be rest on the earth, and they will fall down in front of him and will not rise. And there will be no one who will take them with his hands and raise them, for they denied the Lord of spirits and his Messiah. May the name of the Lord of spirits be blessed. For wisdom has been poured out like water, and glory will not fail in front of him forever and ever. For he is powerful, and all the secrets of righteousness and iniquity will pass away like a shadow, and will have no existence. For the chosen one stands in front of the Lord of spirits, and his glory is forever and ever, and his power for all generations. And in him dwell the spirit of wisdom, and the spirit that gives understanding, and the spirit of knowledge and of power, and the spirit of those who sleep in righteousness. And he will judge the things that are secret, and no one will be able to say an idle word in front of him, for he has been chosen in front of the Lord of spirits in accordance with his wish. And in those days a change will occur for the holy and the chosen. The light of days will rest upon them, and glory and honor will return to the holy. And on the day of trouble, calamity will be heaped up over the sinners, but the righteous will conquer in the name of the Lord of spirits, and he will show this to others so that they might repent and abandon the works of their hands. And they will have no honor in front of the Lord of spirits, but in his name they will be saved, and the Lord of spirits will have mercy on them, for his mercy is great. And he is righteous in his judgment, and in front of his holy iniquity will not be able to stand against his judgment. He who does not repent will be destroyed. And from then on I will not have mercy on them, says the Lord of spirits. And in those days the earth will return that which has been entrusted to it, and Sheol will return that which has been entrusted to it, and that which it has received, and destruction will return what it owes. And he will choose the righteous and the holy from among them, for the day has come near when they must be saved. And in those days the chosen one will sit on his throne, and all the secrets of wisdom will flow out from the counsel of his mouth. For the Lord of spirits has appointed him and glorified him. And in those days the mountains will leap like rams, and the hills will skip like lambs, satisfied with milk, and all will become angels in heaven. Their faces will shine with joy, for in those days the chosen one will have risen, and the earth will rejoice, and the righteous will dwell upon it, and the chosen will walk upon it. And after those days, in that place where I had seen all the visions of that which is secret, for I had been carried off by a whirlwind, and they had brought me to the west. There my eyes saw the secrets of heaven, everything that will occur on earth, a mountain of iron, a mountain of copper, a mountain of silver, and a mountain of gold, and a mountain of soft metal, and a mountain of lead. And I asked the angel who went with me, saying, What are these things which I have seen in secret? And he said to me, All these things which you have seen serve the authority of his Messiah, so that he may be strong and powerful on the earth. And that angel of peace answered me, saying, Wait a little, and you will see. And everything which is secret, which the Lord of spirits has established, will be revealed to you.
With instant alerts on apartments.com, you'll never miss out
Yeah.
on finding your perfect place.
We have a huge announcement.
Skip.
And these mountains that you have seen, the mountain of iron, and the mountain of copper, and the mountain of silver, and the mountain of gold, and the mountain of soft metal, and the mountain of lead, all these in front of the chosen one will be like wax before fire. And like the water that comes down from above onto these mountains, they will be weak under his feet. And it will come to pass in those days that neither by gold nor by silver will men save themselves. They will be unable to save themselves or to flee. And there will be neither iron for war nor material for a breastplate. Bronze will be no use, and tin will be of no use, and will count for nothing. And lead will not be wanted. All these will be wiped out and destroyed from the face of the earth when the chosen one appears in front of the Lord of spirits. And there my eyes saw a deep valley, and its mouth was open. And all those who dwell upon dry ground and the sea and the islands will bring gifts and presents and offerings to him, but that deep valley will not become full. And their hands commit evil, and everything at which the righteous toil the sinners evilly devour. And so the sinners will be destroyed from in front of the Lord of spirits, and will be banished from the face of his earth unceasingly forever and ever. For I saw the angels of punishment going and preparing all the instruments of Satan. And I asked the angel of peace who went with me, and I said to him, These instruments, for whom are they preparing them? And he said to me, They are preparing these for the kings and the powerful of this earth, so that by means of them they may be destroyed. And after this, the righteous and chosen one will cause the house of his congregation to appear. From then on, in the name of the Lord of spirits, they will not be hindered. And in front of him, these mountains will not be firm like the earth, and the hills will be like a spring of water, and the righteous will have rest from the ill treatment of the sinners. And I looked and turned to another part of the earth, and I saw there a deep valley with burning fire. And they brought the kings and powerful and threw them into that valley. And there my eyes saw how they made instruments for them, iron chains of immeasurable weight. And I asked the angel of peace who went with me, saying, These chain instruments, for whom are they being prepared? And he said to me, These are being prepared for the host of Azazel, so that they may take them and throw them into the lowest part of hell, and they will cover their jaws with rough stones, as the Lord of spirits commanded. And Michael and Gabriel and Raphael and Phanuel, these will take hold of them on that great day, and throw them on that day into the furnace of burning fire, so that the Lord of spirits may take vengeance on them for their iniquity. In that they became servants of Satan, and led astray those who dwell upon the dry ground. And in those days the punishment of the Lord of spirits will go out, and all the storehouses of the waters which are above the sky and under the earth will be opened. And all the waters will be joined with the waters that are above the sky. The water that is above the sky is male, and the water that is under the earth is female. And all those who dwell upon the dry ground and those who dwell under the ends of heaven will be wiped out. And because of this, they will acknowledge their iniquity which they have committed on the earth, and through this they will be destroyed. And after this, the head of days repented and said, I have destroyed to no purpose all those who dwell upon the dry ground. And he swore by his great name, From now on, I will not act like this towards all those who dwell upon the dry ground. And I will put a sign in heaven, and it will be a pledge of faith between me and them forever, so long as heaven is above the earth. And this will be in accordance with my command, when I want to take hold of them with the hands of the angels on the day of distress and pain, in the face of my anger and my wrath and my anger will remain upon them, says the Lord of the spirits. You, powerful kings who dwell upon the dry ground, will be obliged to watch my chosen ones sit down on the throne of my glory and judge in the name of the Lord of spirits, Azazel, and all his associates, and all his host. And I saw there the host of the angels of punishment as they went, and they were holding chains of iron and bronze. And I asked the angel of peace who went with me, saying, to whom are those who are holding the chains going? And he said to me, each to his own chosen ones, and to their beloved ones, so that they may be thrown into the chasm in the depths of the valley. And then that valley will be filled with their chosen and beloved ones, and the days of their life will be at an end, and the days of their leading astray will no longer be counted. And in those days the angels will gather together, and will throw themselves towards the east. Upon the Parthians and Medes they will stir up the kings, so that a disturbing spirit will come upon, and they will drive them from their thrones. And they will come out like lions from their lairs, and like hungry wolves in the middle of their flocks. And they will go up and trample on the land of my chosen ones. And the land of my chosen ones will become before them a tramping ground and a beaten track. But the city of my righteous ones will be a hindrance to their horses, and they will stir up slaughter amongst themselves, and their own right hand will be strong against them. And a man will not admit to knowing his neighbor, or his brother, nor a son his father, or his mother, until, through their death, there are corpses enough, and their punishment it will not be in vain. And in those days Sheol will open its mouth, and they will sink into it and their destruction. Sheol will swallow up the sinners in front of the faces of the chosen. And it came to pass after this, that I saw another host of chariots with men riding on them. And they came upon the wind from the east and from the west to the south. And the sound of the noise of their chariots was heard. And when this occurred, the holy ones observed it from heaven, and the pillars of the earth were shaken from their foundations, and the sound was heard from the ends of the earth to the ends of heaven throughout the day. And all will fall down and worship the Lord of spirits. And this is the end of the second parable. And I began to speak the third parable, about the righteous and about the chosen. Blessed are you, the righteous and the chosen, for your lot will be glorious. And the righteous will be in the light of the sun, and the chosen in the light of eternal life. And there will be no end to the days of their life, and the days of the holy will be without number. And they will seek the light, and will find righteousness with the Lord of spirits. Peace be to the righteous with the Lord of the world. And after this it will be said to the holy, that they should seek in the heaven the secrets of righteousness, the lot of faith. For it has become bright as the sun upon the dry ground, and darkness has passed away. And there will be ceaseless light, and to a limit of days they will not come, for darkness will have been destroyed previously. And the light will endure in front of the Lord of the spirits, and the light of uprightness will endure in front of the Lord of spirits, forever. And in those days my eyes saw the secrets of the flashes of lightning, and the lights, and the regulations governing them, and they flash for a blessing or a curse, as the Lord of Spirit wishes. And there I saw the secrets of the thunder, and how when it crashes in heaven above the sound of it is heard. And they showed me the dwellings of the dry ground, and the sound of the thunder, for peace and for blessing, or for a curse, according to the word of the Lord of spirits. And after this, all the secrets of the lights, and of the flashes of lightning were shown to me. They flashed to bring blessing and satisfaction. In the 50th year, in the 7th month, on the 14th day of the month of the life of Enoch, in that parable, I saw how the heaven of heavens was shaken violently, and the host of the Most High and the angels, 1,000 thousands and 10,000 times 10,000, were extremely disturbed. And then I saw the head of days sitting on the throne of his glory, and the angels and righteous were sitting around him. And a great trembling seized me, and fear took hold of me, and my loins collapsed and gave way, and my whole being melted, and I fell upon my face. And the holy Michael sent another holy angel, one of the holy angels, and he raised me. And when he raised me, my spirit returned, for I had been unable to endure the sight of that host, and the disturbance, and the shaking of heaven. And the holy Michael said to me, What sight has disturbed you like this? Until today has the day of his mercy lasted, and he has been merciful and long-suffering towards those who dwell upon the dry ground. And when the day and the power and the punishment and the judgment come that the Lord of spirits has prepared for those who worship the righteous judgment, and for those who deny the righteous judgment, and for those who take his name in vain, and that day has been prepared for the chosen a covenant, for the sinners a visitation. And on that day 2 monsters will be separated from one another, a female monster whose name is Leviathan, to dwell in the depths of the sea above the springs of the waters. And the name of the male is Behemoth, who occupies with his breast an immense desert named Dindane, on the east of the garden where the chosen and the righteous dwell, where my great-grandfather was received, who was 7th from Adam, the first man whom the Lord of spirits made. And I asked that other angel to show me the power of those monsters, how they were separated on one day and thrown, one into the depths of the sea, and the other onto dry ground of the desert. And he said to me, Son of man, you here wish to know what is secret. And the other angel spoke to me, the one who went with me, and showed me what is secret, what is first and last in heaven, in the heights, and under the dry ground, in the depths, and at the ends of heaven, and at the foundations of heaven, and in the storehouses of the winds, and how the spirits are distributed, and how they are weighed, and how the springs and the winds are counted according to the power of their spirit, and the power of the light of the moon, and the divisions of the stars according to their names, and how all the divisions are made, and the thunder according to the places where it falls, and all the divisions that are made in lightning, so that it may flash, and its host, how quickly they obey. For the thunder have fixed intervals, which have been given to its sound for waiting, and the thunder and the lightning are not separate, although not the same. Through a spirit the two of them move inseparably. For when the lightning flashes, the thunder utters its voice, and the spirit at the proper time causes it to rest, and divides equally between them, because the storehouse of the times for their occurrence is like that of the sand, and each of them at the proper time is held by a rein, and turned back by the power of the Spirit, and likewise driven forward according to the number of the regions of the earth. And the spirit of the sea is male and strong, and according to the power of its strength, the Spirit turns it back with a rein, and likewise it is driven forward and scattered amongst all the mountains of the earth. And the spirit of the hoarfrost is its own angel, and the spirit of the hail is a good angel, and the spirit of the snow has withdrawn because of its power, and it has a special spirit, and that which rises from it is like smoke, and its name is frost. And the spirit of the mist is not associated with them in their storehouse, but has a special storehouse. For its course is glorious, both in light and darkness, and in winter and in summer, and its storehouse is an angel. The spirit of the dew has its dwelling at the ends of heaven, and is connected with the storehouses of the rain, and its course is in winter and in summer, and its clouds. And the clouds of the midst are associated, and one gives to the other. And when the spirit of the rain moves from its storehouse, the angels come and open the storehouse and bring it out. And when it is scattered over all the dry ground, it joins with all the water that is on the dry ground. And whenever it joins with the water, that is on the dry ground. For the waters are for those who dwell upon the dry ground, for they are nourishment for the dry ground from the Most High who is in heaven. Therefore, there is a fixed measure for the rain, and the angels comprehend it. All these things I saw towards the garden of righteousness. And the angel of peace who was with me said to me, these two monsters, prepared in accordance with the greatness of the Lord, will feed them that punishment of the Lord. And children will be killed with their mothers and sons with their fathers. When the punishment of the Lord of spirits rests upon them, it will remain resting, so that the punishment of the Lord of spirits may not come in vain upon these. Afterwards, the judgment will be according to his mercy and his patience. And in those days I saw long cords given to those angels, and they acquired wings for themselves and flew and went towards the north. And I asked the angel, saying, why did these take the long cords and go? And he said to me, they went so that they may measure. And the angel who went with me said to me, these will bring the measurements of the righteous and the ropes of the righteous to the righteous, that they may rely on the name of the Lord of spirits forever and ever. The chosen will begin to dwell with the chosen, and these measurements will be given to faith and will strengthen the righteousness. And these measurements will reveal all the secrets of the depths of the earth, and those who were destroyed by the desert, and those who were devoured by the fish of the sea and by animals, that they may return and rely on the day of the chosen one. For no one will be destroyed in front of the Lord of spirits, and no one can be destroyed. And all those in the heavens above received a command and power, and one voice, and one light like fire was given to them. And him, before everything, they blessed and exalted and praised in wisdom. And they showed themselves wise in speech and in the spirit of life. And the Lord of spirits set the chosen one on the throne of his glory, and he will judge all the works of the holy ones in heaven above, and in the balance he will weigh their deeds. And when he lifts his face to judge their secret ways according to the word of the name of the Lord of spirits, and their path according to the way of the righteous judgment of the Lord Most High, they will all speak with one voice, and bless, and praise, and exalt, and glorify the name of the Lord of spirits. And he will call all the host of the heavens, and all the holy ones above, and the host of the Lord, the cherubim, the seraphim, and the ophanim, and all the angels of power, and all the angels of the principalities, and the chosen one, and the other host that is upon the dry ground, and over the water on that day. And they will raise one voice, and will bless, and praise, and glorify, and exalt in the spirit of faith, and in the spirit of wisdom, and of patience, and in the spirit of mercy, and in the spirit of justice, and of peace, and in the spirit of goodness. And they will all say with one voice, blessed is he, and blessed be the name of the Lord of spirits forever and ever. All those who do not sleep in heaven above will bless him. All his holy ones who are in heaven will bless him. And all the chosen ones who dwell in the garden of life, and every spirit able to bless, and praise, and exalt, and hallow your holy name. And all flesh which to the limit of its power will praise and bless your name forever and ever. For great is the mercy of the Lord of spirits, and he is long-suffering, and all his works and all his forces, as many as he has made, he has revealed to the righteous and the chosen in the name of the Lord of spirits. And thus the Lord commanded the kings, and the mighty, and the exalted, and those who dwell upon the earth, and said, open your eyes and raise your horns if you are able to acknowledge the chosen one.
Sorry.
And the Lord of spirits sat on his throne of glory, and the spirit of righteousness was poured out on him. And the word of his mouth kills all the sinners and all the lawless, and they are destroyed in front of him. And on that day all the kings and the mighty and the exalted, and those who possess the earth, will stand up, and they will see and recognize how he sits on the throne of his glory. And the righteous are judged in righteousness in front of him, and no idle word is spoken in front of him. And pain will come upon them.
There's some
as
little
upon a
clouds
woman in
coming
labor,
up.
for whom giving birth is difficult when her child enters the mouth of the womb. And she has difficulty giving birth. And one half of them will look at the other, and they will be terrified, and will cast down their faces, and pain will take hold of them when they see that Son of Woman sitting on the throne of his glory.
I think he read that wrong. Son of
And the
man.
mighty kings and all those who possess the earth will praise and bless and exalt him who rules everything that is hidden. For from the beginning that Son of Man was hidden, And the Most High kept him in the presence of his power, and revealed him only to the chosen. And the community of the holy and the chosen will be sown, and all the chosen will stand before him on that day. And all the mighty kings and the exalted and those who rule the dry ground will fall down before him on their faces and worship. And they will set their hopes on that Son of Man, and will entreat him, and will petition for mercy from him. But the Lord of spirits will then so press them that they will hasten to go out from before him, and their faces will be filled with shame, and the darkness will grow deeper on their faces. And the
Hopefully you'll be
angels
able to
of
see the
punishment
clouds
will
coming
take
in,
them, so that they may repay them for the wrong that they did to his children
because they're really
and to
lit
his
up.
chosen ones. And they will become a spectacle to the righteous and to his chosen ones. They will rejoice over them, for the anger of the Lord of spirits will rest upon them, and the sword of the Lord of
They're
spirits will be
coming
drawn
real
with them.
soon here.
And the righteous and the chosen will be saved on that day, and they will never see the faces of the sinners and the lawless from then on. And the Lord of spirits will remain over
Here comes
them,
some clouds.
and with that Son of Man they will dwell and eat and lie down and rise up
They're
forever
pretty thin,
and
though.
ever. And the righteous and chosen will have risen from the earth, and
Okay,
will
here
have
we go.
ceased to cast down their faces, and will have put on the garment of life. And this will be a garment of life from the Lord of spirits, and your garments will not wear out, and your glory will not fail in front of the Lord of spirits. In those days, the mighty kings who possess the dry ground will entreat the angels of his punishment to whom they have been handed over, so that they
Cool,
might
huh?
give them a little respite, and so that they might fall down and worship in front of the Lord of spirits and confess their sins in front of him. And they will bless and praise the Lord of spirits and say, Blessed be the Lord of spirits, and the Lord of kings, the Lord of the mighty, and
That's
the Lord
cool.
of the rich, and the Lord of glory, and the Lord of wisdom. And everything secret is clear in front of you, and your power is for all generations, and your glory
The
is
clouds
forever and
almost
ever.
passed.
Deep and without number are all your secrets, and your righteousness is beyond reckoning.
It's pretty much
Now
clearing
we
up.
realize that we ought to praise and bless the Lord of kings, and the one who is king over all kings.
See
And
the
they
end
will
of it?
say,
Right about
Would that we might be given a respite, so
there.
that we might praise and thank and bless
Okay,
him,
we got to
and
see if
make
we can
our
catch up with it.
confession in front of his glory.
We're catching up with it.
And now we long for a respite,
barely.
but do not find it. We are driven off and do not obtain it.
We'll see if we can keep
And
up
the
with
light
it.
has passed away from before us, and darkness will be our dwelling forever and ever. For we have
Oh,
not
I
made
think
our
it
confession
beat
before
us.
him,
Or
and
are we
have
catching
not
up to it? We're
praised the
catching
name
up
of
to
the
it.
Lord of kings, and we have not praised the Lord for all his works, but our hopes have been on the scepter of our kingdom.
They're
and
like
of our
rainbow
glory.
clouds.
And on the day of our affliction and distress, he does not save us. And
I'm
he
really
will
far
find
away
no
from the moon
respite
now.
to make our confession
Okay,
that
I
our Lord is
stopped. Look how
faithful in
fast
all
they're
his
going.
doings, and
Okay,
in
now
all
we
his
gotta go back.
judgments and his justice, and that his judgments show no respect for
There's
persons.
the end of it.
And we pass away from in front of him because of all our works, and
Almost the
all
end
of
of
our
it.
sins have been counted exactly. Then they will say to them, Our souls are sated with possessions gained
how
through
dirty my
iniquity, but they do
lens
not
is.
prevent our going down into the flames of the torment of Sheol. And after this, their faces will be filled with darkness and shame in front of that Son of Man, and they will be driven away from him, and the sword will dwell among them in front of him.
We have more clouds
And
coming
thus
in a
says the
little
Lord of
bit.
spirits, This is the law and the judgment for the mighty, and the kings, and the exalted, and for those who possess the dry ground in front of the Lord of the spirits. And I saw other figures hidden in that place. I heard the voice of the angels saying, These are the angels who came down from heaven onto the earth and revealed
Whoops.
what is secret to the sons of men, and led astray the sons of men,
Okay, here's more
so
clouds.
that they committed sin. And in those days, Noah saw the earth had tilted, and that its destruction was near. And he set off from there and went to the ends of the earth and cried out to his great-grandfather Enoch. And Noah said 3 times in a bitter voice, Hear me, hear me, hear me. And he said to him, Tell me, what is it that is being done on the earth, that the earth is so afflicted and shaken, lest I be destroyed with it? And immediately there was a great disturbance on the earth, and a voice was heard from heaven, and I fell upon my face. And my great-grandfather Enoch came, stood by me, and said to me, "Why did you cry out to me with such bitter crying and weeping?"
Here comes a
And
cloud,
a
a
command has
little one.
gone out from the Lord against those who will dwell upon the dry ground, that this must be their end. For they have
Right
learnt
about
all
now,
the
I
secrets of
think.
the angels, and all the wrongdoings
Yep,
of
you
the
can see it a little
Satans,
bit.
and all their secret power, and all the power of those who practice magic arts, and the power of enchantments, and the power of those who cast molten images from all the earth.
Back
And
to
further,
clear.
how silver is produced from the dust of the earth, and how soft metal occurs on the earth. For lead and tin are not produced from the earth. Like the former, there is a spring which produces them, and an angel who stands in it, and that angel distributes them. And after this, my great-grandfather Enoch took hold of me with his hand, and raised me, and said to me, "Go, for I have asked the Lord of spirits about this disturbance on the earth." And he said to me, "Because of their iniquity, their judgment has been completed, and they will no longer be counted before me. Because of their sorceries, they have searched out and learnt the earth, and those who dwell upon it will be destroyed. And for these there will be no place of refuge forever, for they showed to them what is secret, and they have been condemned. But not so for you, my son. The Lord of spirits knows that you are pure and innocent of this reproach concerning the secrets. And he has established your name among the holy, and will keep you from amongst those who dwell upon the dry ground. And he has destined your offspring in righteousness to be kings and for great honors. And from your offspring will flow out a spring of the righteous and holy without number forever." And after this, he showed me the angels of punishment, who were ready to come and release all the forces of the water which is under the earth, in order to bring judgment and destruction on all those who reside and dwell upon the dry ground. And the Lord of spirits commanded the angels who were coming out not to raise their hands, but to keep watch, for those angels were in charge of the forces of the waters. And I came out from before Enoch. And in those days the word of the Lord came to me, and he said to me, "Noah, behold, your lot has come up before me, a lot without reproach, a lot of love and uprightness. And now the angels are making a wooden structure, and when the angels come out from that task, I will put my hand on it and keep it safe. And a change shall take place, so that the dry ground may not remain empty.
Macbeth, this is the book of Enoch.
And I will establish your offspring before me forever and ever, and I will scatter those who dwell with you over the face of the dry ground. I will not again put them to the test on the face of the earth, but they will be blessed and increase on the dry
Okay,
ground
here comes
in
a
the name
cloud.
of the Lord. And they will shut up those angels who showed iniquity in that burning valley, which my great-grandfather Enoch had shown to me previously.
It's a little bit of the thicker
near
one,
the
so
mountains of gold and silver and
here it
iron and
comes.
soft metal and tin. And I saw that valley, in which there was a great
Or
disturbance,
not yet, I guess.
and a heaving of the waters.
Okay, here it
And
comes.
when all this happened, from the fiery molten metal and the
There, I can see it now.
which disturbed the waters in that place, a smell of sulfur was produced, and it was associated with those waters.
The water's above.
And that valley of the angels who led men astray burns under the ground.
Okay, now we're in a
And
cloud.
through the valleys of that same area flow out rivers of fire, where those angels will be punished who led astray those on the dry ground. And in those days those waters will serve the kings and the mighty and the exalted and those who dwell upon dry ground for the healing of their soul and body, but
Okay, we're
also
gonna
for the punishment of the
follow
spirit.
these clouds a little
And their
bit.
spirits are so full of lust that they will be punished
so you can
in
see how
their
thick they
bodies,
are.
for they denied the Lord of spirits.
Pretty thick.
And they see their punishment every day, yet they do
Pretty
not
thick.
believe in his name.
But they're like,
And the more
it's like
their
we're halfway
bodies are
through it
burned,
already.
the more a change will come over their spirits.
Here, we'll go to the end of it.
Forever and ever. For no one can speak an idle word in front of the Lord of spirits.
It's not very...
For judgment will come
Well,
upon them.
we're about
for
halfway
they
through it
believe in
now.
the lust of their bodies, but deny the Spirit of the Lord. And those same waters will undergo a change in those days. For when those angels are punished in those days, the temperature of those springs of water will change. And when the
Look at how it's like
come
rainbow.
up, that water of the springs will change and become cold. And I heard the holy Michael answering and saying, "This judgment
it's going like straight
with which
towards
the
the
angels
moon
are
and it gets
judged
brighter
is
as
a
it goes towards
testimony
it."
for the kings and the mighty who possess the dry ground." For these waters of judgment.
I gotta pause it. See, now they're not like rainbow as much when they're right by the moon. Okay, we're almost to the moon because the cloud is almost gone. Watch the end of the cloud. It's like a that was cool. Oh, did you guys hear that owl? I just heard an owl. Okay, it's clear sky for a long time now. Make sure you follow. I don't think enough people are following. Okay, ready? This is chapter 67 in the book of Enoch.
Serve for the healing of the bodies of the kings and for the lust of their bodies. But they do not see and they do not believe that these waters will change and will become a fire which burns forever. And after this, my great-grandfather Enoch gave me the explanation of all the secrets in a book and the parables that had been given to him, and he put them together for me in the words of the book of parables. And on that day, the holy Michael answered Raphael, saying, "The power of the Spirit seizes me and makes me tremble because of the harshness of the judgment of the angels. Who can endure the harshness of the judgment which has been executed and before which they melt with fear?" And the holy Michael answered Raphael again and said to him, "Who would not soften his heart over it, and whose mind would not be disturbed by this word? Judgment has gone out against them upon those whom they have led out like this." But it came to pass when he stood before the Lord of spirits that the holy Michael spoke as follows to Raphael: "I will not take the part under the eye of the Lord, for the Lord of spirits is angry with them, because they act as if they were the Lord. Because of this, the hidden judgment will come upon them forever and ever, for neither any other angel nor any man will receive their lot, but they alone have received their judgment forever and ever. And after this judgment I will terrify them and make them tremble, for they have shown this to those who dwell upon the dry ground. And behold, the names of those angels. The first of them is Simyaza, and the second Artakepha,
Yep, it's flat.
and the third Armin,
Flat.
and the fourth
Earth is.
Kotabiel, and the fifth Turiel,
I think the moon is too.
and the sixth Ramiel, and the seventh Daniel, and the eighth Nuquel, and the ninth Baraquiel, and the 10th Azazel, and the 11th Armoros, the 12th Batriel, the 13th Azazel, the 14th Ananel, the 15th Turiel, the 16th Samsiel, the 17th Yedarel, the 18th Tumiel, the 19th Turiel, the 20th Rumiel, and the 21st Azazel. And these are the chiefs of their angels, and the names of the leaders of hundreds, and their leaders of 50s, and their leaders of 10s. The name of the first is Yahbun. This is the one who led astray all the children of the holy angels, and he brought them down unto the ground, and led them astray through the daughters of men. And the name of the second is Asbiel. This one suggested an evil plan to the children of the holy angels and led them astray, so that they corrupted their bodies with the daughters of men. And the name of the third is Gadriel. This is the one that showed all the deadly blows to the sons of men, and he led astray Eve. And he showed the weapons of death to the children of men, the shield and the breastplate, and the sword for slaughter, and all the weapons of death to the sons of men. And from his hand they have gone out against those who dwell the dry ground from that time and forever and ever. And the name of the fourth is Penemu. This one showed the sons of men the bitter and the sweet, and showed them all the secrets of their wisdom. He taught men the art of writing with ink and paper, and through this many have gone astray, from eternity to eternity and to this day. For men were not created for this, that they should confirm their faith like this, with pen and ink. For men were created no differently from the angels, so that they might remain righteous and pure, and death, which destroys everything, would not have touched them. But through this knowledge of theirs they are being destroyed, and through this power death consumes them. And the name of the fifth is Casdea. This one showed the sons of men all the evil blows of the spirits and of the demons, and the blows that attack the embryo in the womb so that it miscarries, and the blows that attack the soul, the bite of the serpent, and the blows that occur at midday, and the son of the serpent, who is strong. And this is the task of Kespiel, the chief of the oath, who showed the oath to the holy ones when he dwelt on the high in glory, and his name is Becca. And this one told the holy Michael that he should show him the secret name so that they might mention it in the oath, so that those who showed the sons of men everything that is secret trembled before that name and oath. And this is the power of this oath, for it is powerful and strong, and he placed this oath, okay, in the charge of the holy Michael. And these are the secrets of this oath, and they are strong through this oath. And heaven was suspended before the world was created, and forever. And through it the earth was founded upon the water. And from the hidden recesses of the mountains come beautiful waters, from the creation of the world, and forever. And through that oath the sea was created, and as its foundation, for the time of anger, he placed for it the sand, and it does not go beyond it, from the creation of the world and forever. And through that oath the deeps were made firm, and they stand and do not move from their place from the creation of the world and forever. And through that oath the sun and the moon complete their course, and do not transgress their command, from the creation of the world and forever.
I found a place in my heart. I found my heaven.
Whoa, where did the time go? Are we ever going to wish we spent less time with them? Of course not. Which is why at Connections Academy, we help you make the most of these years in a safe, inclusive community, and a curriculum designed for how kids live and learn today. Welcome to the Connections Academy family. We get them ready to go out into the world, no matter how much you're not ready to let them.
And through that oath the stars complete their course, and he calls their names, and they answer him from the creation of the world and forever. And likewise the spirits of the water, of the winds, and of all the breezes, and their paths, according to all the groups of the spirits. And there are kept the storehouses of the sound of thunder, and of the light of the lightning. And there are kept the storehouses of the hail, and the hoarfrost, and the storehouses of the mist, and the storehouses of the rain and dew. And all these make their confession, and give thanks in front of the Lord of spirits, and sing praises with all their power. And their food consists of all their thanksgiving, and they give thanks, praise, and exalt in the name of the Lord of spirits, forever and ever. And this oath is strong over them, and through it they are kept safe, and their courses are not disturbed. And they had great joy, and they blessed, praised, and exalted, because the name of that Son of Man had been revealed to them. And he sat on the throne of his glory, and the whole judgment was given to the Son of Man, and he will cause the sinners to pass away and be destroyed from the face of the earth. And those who led astray the world will be bound in chains, and will be shut up in the assembly place of their destruction, and all their works will pass away from the face of the earth. And from then on there will be nothing corruptible. For that Son of Man has appeared, and has sat on the throne of his glory, and everything will pass away and go from in front of him. And the word of that Son of Man will be strong in front of the Lord of spirits. This is the third parable of Enoch. And it came to pass after this, that while he was living, his name was lifted from those who dwell upon the dry ground to the presence of that Son of Man, and to the presence of the Lord of spirits. And he was lifted on the chariots of the Spirit, and his name vanished from among them. And from that day I was not counted among them. And he placed me between two winds, between the north and the west, where the angels took the cords to measure for me the place for the chosen and the righteous. And there I saw the first fathers and the righteous, who from the beginning of the world dwelt in that place. And it came to pass after this that my spirit was carried off, and it went up into the heavens. I saw the sons of the holy angels treading upon flames of fire. Their garments were white, and their clothing, and the light of their face was like snow. And I saw 2 rivers of fire, and the light of that fire shone like a hyacinth. And I fell upon my face in front of the Lord of spirits. And the angel Michael, one of the archangels, took hold of me by my right hand, and raised me, and led me out to all the secrets of mercy and the secrets of righteousness. And he showed me all the secrets of the ends of heaven, and all the storehouses of the stars, and the lights from where they come out from below the holy ones. And the Spirit carried Enoch off to the highest heaven, and I saw there, in the middle of that light, something built of crystal stones, and in the middle of those stones tongues of living fire. And my spirit saw a circle of fire, which surrounded that house. From its 4 sides came rivers, full of living fire, and they surrounded that house. And round about were the seraphim, and the cherubim, and the ophanim. These are they who do not sleep, but keep watch over the throne of his glory. And I saw angels who could not be counted, 1,000 thousands and 10,000 times 10,000 surrounding that house. And Michael and Raphael and Gabriel and Phanuel and the holy angels who are in the heavens above went in and out of that house. And Michael and Raphael and Gabriel and Phanuel and many holy angels without number came out from that house. And with them the head of days, his head white and pure like wool, and his garments indescribable. And I fell upon my face, and my whole body melted, and my spirit was transformed. And I cried out in a loud voice in the spirit of power, and I blessed, praised, and exalted. And these blessings which came out from my mouth were pleasing before that head of days. And that head of days came with Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, and Phanuel, and thousands and tens of thousands of angels without number. And that angel came to me and greeted me with his voice, and said to me, You are the Son of Man, who was born to righteousness, and righteousness remains over you, and the righteousness of the head of days will not leave you. And he said to me, He proclaims peace to you in the name of the world which is to come. For from there peace has come out from the creation of the world, and so you will have it forever and forever and ever. And all will walk according to your way, inasmuch as righteousness will never leave you. With you will be their dwelling, and with you their lot. And they will not be separated from you forever and forever and ever. And so there will be length of days with that Son of Man. And the righteous will have peace, and the righteous will have an upright way in the name of the Lord of spirits, forever and ever. The Book of Revolutions of the Lights of Heaven. Each as it is, according to their classes, according to their period of rule and their times, according to their names and places of origin, and according to their months. That Uriel, the holy angel who was with me, and is their leader, showed to me. And he showed me all their regulations exactly as they are for each year of the world and forever, until the new creation shall be made, which will last forever. And this is the first law of the lights. The light called the sun, its rising is in the gates of heaven that are towards the east, and its setting is in the western gates of heaven. And I saw 6 gates from which the sun rises, and 6 gates in which the sun sets, and the moon also rises and sets in those gates. And the leaders of the stars together with those whom they lead, there are 6 in the east and 6 in the west, all exactly in place, one next to the other. And there are many windows to the south and the north.
The clouds are actually almost done.
And first there rises the greater light, named the sun, and its disk is like the disk of heaven.
Wow. Maybe another like 3 minutes.
Full of a fire which gives light and warmth. The wind blows the chariots on which it ascends, and the sun goes down in the sky and returns through the north in order to reach the east, and is led so that it comes to the appropriate gate and shines in the sky. In this way it rises in the first month, in the large gate, namely, it rises through the fourth of those 6 gates that are towards the east. And in that fourth gate, through which the sun rises in the first month, there are 12 window openings from which, whenever they are opened, flames come out. When the sun rises in heaven, it goes out through that fourth gate for 30 days, and exactly in the fourth gate, in the west of heaven, it goes down. And in those days the day grows daily longer, and the night grows nightly shorter, until the 13th morning. And on that day the day becomes longer than the night by a double part, and the day amounts to exactly 10 parts, and the night amounts to 8 parts. And the sun rises from that fourth gate and sets in the fourth gate, and returns to the fifth gate in the east for 30 mornings, and it rises from it and sets in the fifth gate. And then the day becomes longer by 2 parts, and the day amounts to 11 parts, and the night becomes shorter and amounts to 7 parts. And the sun returns to the east and comes to the 6th gate and rises and sets in the 6th gate for 31 mornings because of its sign. And on that day, the day becomes longer than the night, and the day becomes double the night, and the day amounts to 12 parts, and the night becomes shorter and amounts to 6 parts. And the sun rises up so that the day may grow shorter, and the night
Ethan,
longer.
the goat,
And the
what's
sun
up?
returns to the east, and it comes to the 6th gate, and rises from it, and sets for 30 mornings. And when 30 mornings have been completed, the day becomes shorter by exactly 1 part, and the day amounts to 11 parts, and the
We're
night
almost to the end
7
of the
parts.
cloud.
And the sun goes out from the west through that 6th gate and goes to the east and rises in the 5th gate for 30 mornings, and it sets in the west again in the 5th gate in the west. On that day, the day becomes shorter by 2
Hey, Arion,
parts, and the day amounts to 10
Bright
parts,
Flame,
and the night to 8
I hope you grab
parts.
that link that I put in
And
there.
the sun rises from that 5th
You can
gate
see
and
how the
sets in
sun
the 5th
sets
gate
that
in the
way
west,
from up in
and
the air a
rises
lot
in the
better.
4th gate for 31 mornings because of its sign, and sets in the west.
It's a
On
Meade
that day, the day
ETX
becomes equal
125
with the night,
telescope.
and is of equal length, and the night amounts to 9 parts, and the day to 9 parts. And the sun rises from that gate and sets in the west, and returns to the east, and rises in the 3rd gate for 30 mornings, and sets in the west in the 3rd gate. And the sun rises from that 3rd gate, and sets in the 3rd gate in the west, and returns to the east, and the sun rises in the 2nd gate in the east for 30 mornings, and likewise it sets in the 2nd gate in the west of heaven. And on that day the night amounts to 11 parts, and the day to 7 parts. And the sun rises on that day from the 2nd gate, and sets in the west, and...
All right, I'm going to engage with the chat. Arion Bright Flame, go to my YouTube channel, which is the same name as this channel. It's EFTUPWRLD. And I have several videos of the sun setting from the bottom side up in the air. It's the air that's doing that. And if there's something on the ground that blocks it first, that's what's going to happen. Nice West Coast winds. I can't even imagine what a 25-inch Dobsonian. I have an 8-inch Dobsonian. I can't imagine what a 25 would do. That'd be awesome. Yeah, look, watch the link. If you put a drone up in the air at like 1,500 feet, you can watch the sunset above the horizon. You can watch it all the time. And I probably have 20 videos on my YouTube channel showing it. And it's very clear, very clear. Okay, back to Enoch. Oops.
2nd gate, and returns to the east for the 1st gate for 31 mornings, then sets in the west in the 1st gate. And on that day the night becomes longer and becomes double the day, and the night amounts to exactly 12 parts, and the day
follow
to
the
6
host.
parts.
Thanks for sharing.
And with this the sun has completed the division of its journey, and it turns back again along the divisions of its journey, And it comes through that first gate for 30 mornings and sets in the west opposite it. And on that day, the night becomes shorter.
Try to
in
open
length
your
by
mind,
1
Arion
part,
Bright
and amounts
Flame.
to 11 parts, and the day to 7 parts.
It's not even
and
a
the sun
debate.
returns and comes to the second gate in the east, and it returns along those divisions of its journey for 30 mornings, rising and setting. And on that day, the night becomes shorter in length, and the night amounts to 10 parts, and the day to 8 parts. And on that day, the sun rises from the second gate and sets in the west, and returns to the east.
Yeah, we know all the math,
and rises in
Arion
the
Bright
third gate for
Flame.
31 mornings, and sets in the west of the sky.
It shuts down the globe.
And on that day, the night becomes shorter and amounts to 9 parts, and the day amounts to 9 parts, and the night becomes equal with the day. And the year amounts to exactly 364 days. And the length of the day and the night, and the shortness of the day and the night, they are different because of the journey of the sun.
I think it is
Because of it, its journey
COJ key,
becomes daily longer
COJ
and
key.
nightly shorter.
I don't know if I'm saying
And
that
this
right.
is the law and the journey of the sun.
It
and
was
its
a little
return.
while ago, but
As
it
often
doesn't
as
seem like it's on
returns,
there very
60
much right
times
now.
It returns and rises. That is the great eternal light.
I wonder if that was the
which
tree
forever and
branches,
ever
you
is
know?
named the sun. And this that rises is the great light, which is named after its appearance, as the Lord commanded. And thus it rises and sets. It neither decreases nor rests, but runs day and night in its chariot.
It's just Pythagorean
And its
theorem.
light is
It's
7
just
times
geometry,
brighter
simple
than that of the
geometry.
moon, but in size the two are equal.
Yeah, follow
And
the
after
host.
this
Nice.
law I saw another law, for the lesser light named the moon.
Here
And
we
its
are.
disk is
The
like
moon.
the disk of the sun.
It's a disk.
And the wind blows its chariot on which it rides, and in fixed measure light is given to it.
Light is
And
given
every
to it.
month its rising and setting change, and its days are as the days of the sun. And when its light is uniformly full, it is a 7th part the light of the sun.
Right now,
And
it's
thus
the 7th part of the
rises,
light of the sun.
and its first phase is towards the east. It rises on the 30th morning, and on that day it appears and becomes for you the first phase of the moon on the 30th morning, together with the sun in the gate through which the sun rises.
Cool.
And a half with a 7th part, and its entire disk is empty without light except for a 7th part, a 14th part of its light. And on the day that it receives a 7th and a half of its light amounts to a 7th, and a 7th part and a half. It sets with the sun, and when the sun rises, the moon rises with it, and receives a half of 1 part of light. And on that night, at the beginning of its morning, at the beginning of the moon's day, the moon sets with the sun, and is dark on that night in 6 and 7 parts and a half. And it rises on that day, with exactly a 7th part, goes out, recedes from the rising of the sun, and becomes bright on the remainder of its days, in the other 6 and 7 parts. And another journey and law I saw for it, in that according to this law it makes its monthly journey. And Uriel, the holy angel who is leader of them all, showed me everything, and I wrote down their positions as he showed them to me. And I wrote down their months, as they are, and the appearance of their light, until 15 days have been completed. In 7th parts it makes all its darkness full, and in 7th parts it makes all its light full, in the east and in the west. And in certain months it changes its setting, and in certain months it follows its own individual course. In 2 months it sets with the sun, in those 2 gates that are in the middle, in the 3rd and in the 4th gate. It goes out for 7 days and turns back, and returns again to the gate from which the sun rises. And in that gate it makes all its light full, and it recedes from the sun, and comes in 8
thanks for
days
sharing.
to the 6th gate from which the sun rises. And when the sun rises from the 4th gate, the moon goes out for 7 days, until it rises from the 5th gate. And again it returns in 7 days to the 4th gate, makes all its light full, recedes, and comes to the 1st gate in 8 days. And again it returns in 7 days to the 4th gate from which the sun rises. Thus I saw their positions, how the moon rose and how the sun set in those days. And if 5 years are added together, the sun has an excess of 30 days. For each year of the 5 years there are 364 days. And the excess of the sun and the stars come to 6 days. In 5 years, with 6 days each, they have an excess of 30 days, and the moon falls behind the sun and the stars by 30 days. And the moon conducts the years exactly, all of them to their eternal positions. They are neither early nor late, even by 1 day, but change the year in exactly 364 days. In 3 years, there are 1,092 days, and in 5 years, there is 1,820 days, so that in 8 years, there are 2,912 days. For the moon alone, the days in 3 years comes to 1,062 days, and in 5 years, it is 50 days behind. And there are 1,770 days in 5 years, so that for the moon, the days in 8 years amount to 2,832 days. For the difference in 8 years is 80 days, and all the days that the moon is behind in 8 years are 80 days. And the year is completed exactly in accordance with their positions and the positions of the sun, in that they rise from the gates from which the sun rises and sets for 30 days. And the leaders of the tens of thousands, who are in charge of the whole of creation and in charge of all the stars, and also the 4 days which are added, and are not separated from their position according to the whole reckoning of the year. And these serve on the 4 days that are not counted in the reckoning of the year. And because of them, men go wrong in them. For these lights really serve in the stations of the world, one in the first gate, and one in the third gate, and one in the fourth gate, and one in the sixth. And the exact harmony of the world is completed in the separate 364 stations of the world. For the signs and the times and the years, days, were showed to me by the angel Uriel, whom the Lord of eternal glory has placed in charge of all the lights of heaven, in heaven and in the world, so that they might rule on the face of heaven, and appear over the earth, and be leaders of day and night, the sun and the moon, the stars, and all the serving creatures who revolve in all the chariots of heaven. Likewise, Uriel showed to me 12 gate openings in the disk of the chariot of the sun in the sky, from which the rays of the sun came out. And from them heat comes out over the earth when they are opened at the times that are appointed for them. And there are openings for the winds and for the spirit of the dew when they are opened at their times, opened in heaven at the ends of the earth. I saw 12 gates in heaven at the ends of the earth, from which the sun and the moon and the stars and all the works of heaven go out in the east and in the west. And there are many window openings to the north and to the south, and each window, at its appointed time, sends out heat corresponding to those gates, from which the stars go out, in accordance with his command to them, and which they set according to their number. And I saw chariots in heaven, running through the region above those gates, in which the stars that never set rotate. And one is bigger than all the others, and it goes round through the whole world. And at the ends of the earth I saw 12 gates open to all the winds, from which the winds come out and blow over the earth.
I am Butch Loxton. I'm a Los Angeles-based artist. I'm inspired by the Day of the Dead culture here in Los Angeles. I seem to connect with a lot of fans in Mexico. I have a lot of fans in India and also in Europe. So I would say connecting on Facebook is limitless.
My moderate to severe plaque psoriasis, the burning, itching, the pain.
Emerge Tremfyant. With Tremfya, most people
Sorry
saw
about the
90%
ads.
clear skin at 16 weeks. The majority of
3 of them
Sorry.
open in the front of heaven, and 3 in the back, and 3 on the right of heaven, and 3 on the left. And the 3 first are those towards the east, and then the 3 towards the north, and the 3 after those towards the south, and the 3 in the west. Through 4 of them come winds of blessing and peace, and from the other 8 come winds of punishment. When they are sent, they bring devastation to the whole earth, to the water which is on it, and to all those who dwell upon it, and to everything that is in the water and on dry ground. And the first wind from those gates, called the east wind, comes out through the first gate, which is towards the east. The one that comes from the south brings devastation, drought, heat, and destruction. And through the second gate in the middle comes what is right. And from it come rain and fruitfulness and prosperity and dew. And through the third gate, which is towards the north, comes cold and drought. And after these, the winds towards the south come out through 3 gates, First, through the first of the gates, which inclines towards the east, comes a hot wind. And through the middle gate, which is next to it, come pleasant fragrances and dew and rain and prosperity and life. And through the third gate, which is towards the west, come dew and rain and locust and devastation. And after these, the winds towards the north. From the seventh gate, which is towards the east, come dew and rain, locust and devastation. And through the gate exactly in the middle, come rain and dew and life and prosperity. And through the third gate, which is towards the west, come mist and hoarfrost and snow and rain and dew and locusts. And after these, the winds towards the west. Through the first gate, which inclines towards the north, come dew and rain and hoarfrost and cold and snow and frost. And from the middle gate come dew and rain, prosperity and blessing. And through the last gate, which is towards the south, come drought and devastation, burning and destruction. And thus the 12 gates of the 4 quarters of heaven are complete. And all of their laws and all of their punishments and all their benefits I have shown to you, my son Methuselah. They called the first quarter eastern because it is the first. And they called the south because there the Most High descends. And there especially the one who is blessed forever descends. And the western quarter is called waning because there all the lights of heaven wane and go down. And the fourth quarter, named the north, is divided into 3 parts. And the first of them is the dwelling place for men, and the second contains seas of water, and the deeps, and the forest, and the rivers, and darkness and mist. And the third part contains the garden of righteousness. I saw 7 high mountains, which were higher than all other mountains on the earth, and from them snow comes, and days and times and years pass away and go by. I saw 7 rivers on the earth, larger than all the other rivers. One of them comes from the east and pours out its waters into the great sea. And 2 of them come from the north to the sea, and pour out their water into the Erythraean Sea in the east. And the remaining 4 flow out on the side of the north, to their seas, 2 to the Erythraean Sea, and 2 into the great sea, and they discharge themselves there, and not into the wilderness, as some say. I saw 7 large islands in the sea and on the land, 2 on the land, and 5 in the great sea. The names of the sun are as follows. The first, Orieres, the second, Tomasis. The moon has 4 names. The first name is Asanya, and the second, Ebla, and the third, Benace, and the fourth, Ere. These are the 2 great lights. Their disk is like the disk of heaven, and in size the 2 are equal. In the disk of the sun are 7 parts of light, which are added to it more than to the moon. And in fixed measure light is transferred to the moon until a 7th part of the sun is exhausted. And they set, go into the gates of the west, go round through the north, and rise through the gates of the east on the face of heaven. And when the moon rises, it appears in the sky, and has half of a 7th part of light, and on the 14th day it makes all its light full. And 15 parts of light are transferred to it, until on the 15th day its light is full, according to the sign of the year, and amounts to 15 parts. And the moon comes into being by halves of a 7th part. And in its waning on the first day it decreases to 14 parts of its light, and on the second to 13 parts, and on the third to 12 parts, on the fourth to 11 parts, and on the 5th to 10 parts, and on the 6th to 9 parts, and on the 7th to 8 parts, and on the 8th to 7 parts, and on the 9th to 6 parts, and on the 10th to 5 parts, and on the 11th to 4 parts, and on the 12th to the 3, and on the 13th to 2, and on the 14th to half of a 7th part. And all the light that remains from the total disappears on the 15th day. And in certain months the moon has 29 days, and once 28. And Uriel showed me another law, when light is transferred to the moon, and on which side it is transferred from the sun. All the time that the moon is increasing in its light, it transfers as it becomes opposite the sun, until in 14 days its light is full in the sky. And when it is all ablaze, its light is full in the sky. And on the first day it is called the new moon, for on that daylight rises on it. And its light becomes fully exactly on the day that as the sun goes down in the west, it rises from the east for the night. And the moon shines for the whole night until the sun rises opposite it, and the moon is seen opposite the sun. And on the side on which the light of the moon appears, there again it wanes until all its light disappears, and the days of the moon end, and its disk remains empty without light. And for 3 months, at its proper time, it achieves 30 days, and for 3 months it achieves 29 days, during which it completes its waning in the first period, in the first gate, 127 days. And in the time of its rising for 3 months, it appears in each month with 30 days, and for 3 months it appears in each month with 29 days. By night, for 20 days each time, it looks like a man, and by day like heaven, for there is nothing else in it except its light. And now, my son Methuselah, I have shown you everything, and the whole law of the stars of heaven is complete. And he showed me the whole law for these, for every day, and for every time, and for every rule, and for every year, and for the end thereof, according to its command for every month and every week. And the waning of the moon, which occurs in the 6th gate, for in that 6th gate its light becomes full, and after that it is the beginning of the month. And the waning, which occurs in the 1st gate, at its proper time, until 127 days are complete, or by weeks, 25 weeks and 2 days, and how it falls behind the sun, according to the law of the stars, by exactly 5 days in one period of time, when it has completed the pathway you have seen. Such is the appearance and likeness of every light which Uriel, the great angel who is their leader, showed me. And in those days Uriel answered me and said to me, Behold, I have shown you everything, O Enoch, and I have revealed everything to you, so that you may see the sun, and this moon, and those who lead the stars of heaven, and all those who turn them, their task, and their times, and their rising. But in the days of the sinners the years will become shorter, and their seed will be late on their land, and on their fields. And all things on the earth will change and will not appear at their proper time, and the rain will be withheld, and heaven will retain it. And in those times the fruits of the earth will be late, and will not grow at their proper time, and the fruits of the trees will be withheld at their proper time. And the moon will change its customary practice, and will not appear at its proper time. But in those days it will appear in heaven, come on top of a large chariot in the west, and shine with more than normal brightness. And many heads of the stars in command will go astray, and these will change their courses and their activities, and will not appear at the times that have been prescribed for them. And the entire law of the stars will be closed to the sinners, and the thoughts of those who dwell upon the earth will go astray over them, and they will turn from all their ways and will go astray, and will think them gods. And many evils will overtake them, and punishment will come upon them to destroy them all. And he said to me, O Enoch, look at the book of the tablets of heaven, and read what is written upon them, and not every individual fact. And I looked at everything that was written, and I noted everything. And I read the book and everything that was written in it, all the deeds of men, and all the children of flesh who will be upon the earth for all the generations of eternity. And then I immediately blessed the Lord, the eternal King of glory, in that he has made all the works of the world, and I praised the Lord because of his patience, and I blessed him on account of the sons of Adam. And at that time I said, Blessed is the man who dies righteous and good, concerning whom no book of iniquity has been written, and against whom no guilt has been found. And these 3 holy ones brought me and set me on the earth in front of the door of my house, and said to me, Tell everything to your son Methuselah, and show all your children that no flesh is righteous before the Lord, for he created them. For 1 year we will leave you with your children until you have regained your strength, so that you may teach your children and write these things down for them and testify to all your children. And in the 2nd year we will take you from amongst them. Let your heart be strong, for the good will proclaim righteousness to the good. The righteous will rejoice with the righteous, and they will wish each other well. But the sinner will die with the sinner, and the apostate will sink with the apostate. And those who practice righteousness will die because of the deeds of men, and will be gathered in because of the deeds of the impious. And in those days they finished speaking to me, and I went to my family as I blessed the Lord of ages. And now, my son Methuselah, all these things I recount to you and write down for you. I have revealed everything to you and have given you books about all these things. Keep, my son Methuselah, the books from the hand of your father, so that you may pass them on to the generations of eternity. I have given wisdom to you, and to your children, and to those who will be your children, that they may give it to their children, for all the generations forever, this wisdom that is beyond their thoughts. And those who understand it will not sleep, but will incline their ears that they may learn this wisdom, and it will be better for those who eat from it than good food. Blessed are all the righteous, blessed are all those who walk in the way of righteousness and do not sin like the sinners. In the numbering of all their days in which the sun journeys in heaven, coming in and out through the gates of heaven for 30 days. With the leaders of the thousands of this order of stars, and with the four which are added and divided between the 4 seasons of the year, which lead them and appear with them on 4 days. Because of them men go wrong, and they do not reckon them in the reckoning of the whole year. For men go wrong in respect of them, and do not know them exactly. For they belong in the reckoning of the year, and are truly recorded forever, one in the first gate, and one in the third, and one in the fourth, and one in the sixth. And the year is completed in 364 days. And the account of it is true, and the recorded reckoning of it is exact, for the lights, and the months, and the feast, and the years, and the days. Uriel showed me, and inspired me, he to whom the Lord of the whole created world gave commands about the host of heaven for me. And he has power in heaven, over night and day, to cause light to shine on men, the sun, the moon, and the stars, and all the powers of heaven which rotate in their orbits. And this is the law of the stars, which sit in their places at their times, at their feast, and in their months. And these are the names of those who lead them, who keep watch, so that they appear at their times, and in their orders, and in their months, and in their periods of rule, and in their positions. Their 4 leaders, who divide the 4 parts of the year, appear first, and after them the 12 leaders of the orders, who divide the months and the years into 364 days, with the heads over thousands who separate the days. And for the 4 days that are added to them, there are the leaders who separate the 4 parts of the year. And as for these heads over thousands, one is added between the leader and the led, but their leaders make the separation. And these are the names of the leaders who separate the 4 appointed parts of the year: Melchiel, Helamelech, Melial, and Narel. And the names of those whom they lead: Adnarel, Liasusael, Lilumiel. These 3 follow behind the leaders of the orders. And all others follow behind the 3 leaders of the orders, who follow behind those leaders of positions, who separate the 4 parts of the year. In the beginning of the year, Melchiel rises first and rules, who is called the southern sun, and all the days of his period during which he rules are 91. And these are the signs of the days that are to be seen on the earth in the days of his period of rule: sweat, and heat, and calm. And all the trees bear fruit, and leaves appear on all the trees, and the wheat harvest, and rose flowers. And all the flowers bloom in the field, but the trees of winter are withered. And these are the names of the leaders.
So I don't know what's going on here. My internet or something. My battery's getting down there too. Yeah, I guess it's that's all we get of the Book of Enoch for tonight. So I think, although it's been fun, we listened to like 80 chapters of the Book of Enoch, so that's cool. Yeah, thanks for sharing it, guys. I'm gonna hit the power button, and talk to you next time. Have a good night. Whoops. Oh, there we go. Thanks for watching.